just give it a little bit more time. So I'm like, well, what do I have to do differently when I'm around her to get that side of her? How much time for you to let down that guard to allow that to happen?
I'm laying it down day by day.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Button 91. I usually have my hat on, but you know what? Okay, here we go. Listen, hey guys, welcome to Little Black Button 91. We're talking to you guys about Married at First Sight. It's just got a little bit tasty. That note was off, but don't worry about that. We're working on the notes. Okay, listen, I gotta say it. I gotta say it. Not Jasmine, Shaq and Kirsten. Whew. Now, I don't know. Either Kirsten is pretending and she's a really good actor, or she generally is like trying to make a comeback. Like she generally is trying to, avail herself. But I do feel like she's trying. I think she likes Shaq a little bit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. The way she rubbed his bald head was a little bit more like a kid, but I genuinely think there's something growing there a little bit. I'm not saying that she wants him fully, but I think there's a little something. I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just saying. Look, there's a little try. I mean, me personally, I couldn't do it, but I'm saying it looks like there's a little try. Just a little try from our sis Kirsten. You know what I mean? I don't want to hold her back too much. But I don't wanna be too bad on her. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be too rude on her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she trying. I think she's trying. Let's watch a little bit more, and then I'll get a conversation flowing.
Yeah.
As well.
Like, I don't be saying that you let your guard down. We talk about it. Like, today is all about like moving forward. So like, I don't want to harp on it. But we always talk about, getting to that next stage, and then we always end up in the same place.
Well,
okay. I mean, listen. It couldn't be me. But I do feel like Kirsten. Do you know what I think Kirsten's biggest problem is? Yes, she didn't find him attractive at the beginning. But I've just been hearing some of her language. Let me be very frank with you. Let me be real with you. Let me be absolutely real. Either she's the greatest actor alive. Yeah? No, I'm being real now. Either she's the greatest actor alive, okay, or there is something happening. Okay? All right? I'm just going to say it. Okay, let me tell you why I'm going to say this. Some of the things, from the beginning of the season, I've listened to how vocal she is about how unattractive she is to our brother, Shaq. Yeah, listen, she has told us from the very beginning. Each time, I don't find him attractive. His bald head is annoying. This is annoying. This is annoying. This is annoying. This is annoying. She tells you quite vocally what she finds annoying about Shaq, which is consistent with the fact that someone doesn't find you attractive, right? But in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been hearing a language shift, just a language shift. I'm not saying again that she wants him all the way. I think she wants to try and make it happen. I think she wants to try and like him. Okay. I think she wants to, but there's something holding her back. I think there's the way that she sees him as well might be very difficult. There seems to be a language shift that's happening, right? So the language has shifted from being about how she's not attracted to him. I mean, this girl actually almost embarrassed him. Like, even in the group session, did she pretend as if she didn't find him attractive? Or did she tell us that she didn't find him attractive? She told us again, quite clearly, she don't find his brother attractive. But then in the last 2 episodes, at least, let me just say last 2 episodes, I've heard her mention about, the bald head is not affecting her as much. It's not getting onto her as much. Okay, it's not getting onto her as much, right? Maybe it's because as well she got used to him. Maybe that's also, some people fall in love, or some people like people when they start getting used to them rather than actually liking them. Do you know what I mean? And the, her even her language in this episode, she was consistently, and I remember one part of the thing where she was talking about, why'd you keep talking about just the decision day, not about past the decision day? And I was like, but sis, you ain't really offering nothing. So what do you want him to do? But then again, today she was like talking about how, she's opening up. She's starting to, get used to this idea. You know, she's starting to see him in a different light. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it could be for me. Me personally, I'd have been out of there. But I wonder if there's something more. Now, it could be that she doesn't like being rejected, as you guys are saying. It could also be the fact that she sees him slipping away. We know that also works. It could be a case of, you know, just, you know, people like attention and stuff like that. It could be, you know, so it could be that as well. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say that's not the case. I'm just wondering, you know, the complaints about time being spent, wanting to have more of his time, wanting more of that intimacy, wanting to have more conversations. It's just an interesting thing. I'm just saying it's an interesting thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. You know, I mean, hey, listen. Ask me, like I said. I mean, it couldn't be me, okay? Because you gonna bar me. You ain't gonna do that to me, okay? You ain't gonna do that to me. All right, cool. All right, cool. Let's get into some conversation. I don't waste much time. And stuff like, you know what I mean? But for me, walls, I don't do it. Y'all already know 2023. I told you guys already, we don't do walls in 2023. We didn't do it in 2022. We ain't doing it in 2023. Okay. Elson says she's trapping me now. You know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. She had me this episode. I can't lie to you. She had me this episode. Had me looking at her different. Like, Kirsten, you just want a little bit of love, baby. You know what I'm saying? You just want a little bit of love. Now, would I have gone there? I wouldn't have gone there. But I'm just saying, you know, she almost had me. She had me in the first half. You know what I'm saying? She had me in the first half. You know, but something I don't know. Something's happened, bro. Because then we see next week episode them and the lips in. I don't. Do you know what I mean? It's like, is this girl that great an actor? Now I know some people are really great actors. I'm just saying she's even giving out the kissy. Now the real question is he gonna get out the kitty? That's the real question. I mean, if she gives out the kitty, then we might be somewhere. But if all you're getting out is gizzy, especially after pressure, I don't know. Let me just say this though. I genuinely do believe that she's got actual emotional issues. That's my honest truth. I genuinely believe she has emotional issues that are deeper seated than just her not liking Shaq. Don't get it twisted. I don't think she fancies Shaq off the road, off the top. I agree with you guys, but I think there is a deeper aspect also playing here. Because let me just tell this now, right? Gina has the same issues as well. Gina has a vulnerability issue. She can't be vulnerable at all. This is why she also can't share anything else apart from her workplace. That's it. Because she can't share anything else because she doesn't know how to be vulnerable. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is this, right? Even if I don't find you attractive, in the course of 8 weeks, surely if somebody can ask some really good questions, you'll be able to share some stuff about yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? This is not a chance meeting on the road. This isn't you entering someone's DMs and, you know, you had a quick conversation and that girl's like, I never liked him anyway, and not giving you no play. This isn't that situation. This is, you have 8 weeks. You are stuck with this person day in, day out. You go on honeymoon, you go on this. There would be at least some form of emotional opening where you let that person know some stuff about yourself. The fact that she's unable to do that tells me this is a bigger issue than just her not fancying Shaq. She has something deeper going on with her. The same thing happened on the after party when Keisha asked her a question. She couldn't open herself up and explain herself. The same thing happened with Shaq and her when they were having their little spa moment. She couldn't open up herself. You know what I'm saying? So this is not admonishing her. This is me saying about this is a behavioral issue. I think it goes deeper than just her not fancying Shaq. She told us herself that she had the same issue when it comes to being vulnerable with her ex. She's got a problem. There's a really deep problem that she needs to sort out. Just like Aris has got a deeper problem just not fancying Jasmine. You know, if you just leave it as, oh, he doesn't fancy that person, I'm telling you, when you look at these people, there are deeper issues than just them not fancying the person. You can see that. See how we saw a couple of seasons ago, Brett and what's his name? That guy, I can't remember his name, the guy that didn't fancy her or whatever, right? That was a simple thing of, I don't fancy her. Ryan, yeah. We can see that clearly. I don't fancy her. I'm not trying to, we can see that clearly. These ones, you can see that there's something not quite right with your brain. There's something not quite right with your art. Something's working deeper in your systems that is beginning to flow through your body. And it's not allowing you to behave the way you need to behave. Right? So I really do believe there's something deeper that's going on there between, especially Gina. Gina too is another one. Gina, I saw it this episode more when she started asking really mad questions about would you eat Hank the dog, and I was like, wait, hold on a minute. How are you going to talk about Hank? Would he eat the dog? But then just a second ago, you said you make me not want to eat my food, and I was like, wait, hold on a minute. So you're going to talk about someone else making you come off your food, but you're going to joke about your dog being eaten by him if it was an apocalypse? Like what? What? Wait, what? And all you can talk about is your job. We've got a big issue. Got a big issue. So I believe that Gina's also in that category, in that bracket as well. So there are deeper things, I think. And I don't know where the experts are. I don't know where the counselors are. I don't know where the therapists are. Where are they on this show? What is the point of Married at First Sight if we're going down the lane where no one else is involved? We used to have the experts on. Since it's gone to Lifetime, Lifetime have only made this thing what do you call it? A views only show. All they want is views. Married at First Sight used to have these experts come in and save people or finish them, whichever one. Right? Have conversations, and we'll see the progress of these conversations. Now it's just about fun. It's just about destruction and having people in a madness. So we need these experts back in, man. These shows. This show could be great if they had the experts back in. It could still be entertaining when we hear people coming in and saying, hey, I don't agree with this. Hey, I don't agree with that. Hey, I don't agree with this. Oh, no, man. But anyway. But anyway. We got to talk about it. All right, cool. Let's get some people onto the platform. We're going to get them into the conversation, get them talking. Get them involved, have this conversation about Married at First Sight, because there's a lot of interesting things that will happen. Let me put my headphones in and get this conversation going, baby. But first and foremost, listen, guys, if you're new to the channel, to be a massive, massive favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the upload. For those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals, okay? All right, yeah, we appreciate you guys. All right, cool. Let's just get a few people on. I'm sure the others will join a little bit later on. I know I saw some faces behind the scenes were not agreeing or disagreeing at all to what I was saying, because let's start off spicy. Let's start off with the main conversation. Let's talk about Kirsten and obviously Shaq. There was interesting things that were going on with them, and let's have a conversation. So, Trey, what's your thoughts, man? You're talking about obviously, you're talking about obviously Kirsten and Shaq. You were shaking your head, so tell me.
Even if people, I was shaking my head because your slip was showing, Coach. I was like, bro, daggone well. See, let's be honest as men. Let's just be honest for a second. When a girl is pretty enough, or you think she's fine enough, you will put aside some reservations just for the hope to get out. You will overlook some glaring issues that is there. Everybody see it. You see it too. But boy, she's so fine. Ooh. And Shaq, see, Shaq's in the middle here. He's like, okay, I know this ain't right. I'm getting tired of this. I'm like, yo, come on. I've been trying. You ain't gonna say Shaq ain't been trying now. We can discuss and critique some of the ways he's been doing it, but we cannot sit here and say this man has not tried to put forth effort. I can't say that for the other side. I can't say that for Kirsten. Now all of a sudden it seems like she wants to, but I think it's for arbitrary reasons, not for Shaq's benefit. She don't want to look bad. She just don't want to look bad. Yeah, arbitrary reasons, Crystal. Yeah, yes. Nah, it's like she don't want to look bad. It's basically what it is. And I don't think she's a dumb girl. I don't think there's a lot there with her, but she's not a dumb girl. I think she can take stock, stand back, and go, "Oh, yeah, I ain't looking too good in this." Like when you really look at it, I ain't looking too good at this. Everybody's looking at it like, "Yo, Shaq's not a bad guy." We saw that first day. The family vibed with him. The whole family vibed with him, and you can't sit here and tell me, even though we seen one friend or two, that she hasn't been talking to her family. And they're like, "Well, what's the problem with him? He seems cool. What's the problem with him?" That's going to make her look at herself like, "Well, what is the problem? Am I the problem?" Which we see she got some issues that she has never worked out. Something went on that past that she ain't fixed yet, especially that ex. We don't know who that is. There's something there, and she don't want to go there, but there's something there. But nah, she's looking at that situation like, "Ooh, okay, wait a minute. I don't just keep it real." She's looking at it and it's like, "Ooh, I don't want to be one of those women that complain about getting not getting good guys, get a good, oh, ain't no good guys out here. I don't meet good guys, blah blah blah." Then you meet a decent dude, and then your problems become glaring. It makes you take stock and look back, like, wait a minute. In all the situations I've been in, could I have been a problem? Ooh, and let's keep it real. A lot of people don't want to face that. What up, O? What up, Doc? You know what I'm saying? We need some medicine. We need some healing up in here. We need some healing up in here. Kojo need help. Your boy need help. You heard him. Your boy need help. I was like,
I'm not
bro,
defending her. Oh,
don't do it. Don't fall for the booty trap. I done told y'all. I've been saying this since week one. She fine, but don't fall for it. I've been
what a booty
saying
trap
this.
for a reason, Martha.
You ain't shy. I've been saying this about both of
What a
y'all.
booty
Week
trap for a
one.
reason.
I'm on
Week
choice.
one. I've been telling y'all. I know
Ah.
she's fine. I'm looking at her like, damn, she is bad. But she ain't bad. She ain't that bad. She ain't bad enough for me. No.
I agree.
No.
Oh no, what you saying, bro?
All right, story time. How's it going? So
What's good, bro?
it's going good. How's everyone going? Trey, Crystal, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Shaq and Kirsten. Let's get right to it. So I see Shaq. I see myself in Shaq all the time. Like I'm going back. To me, it reminds me of high school, and Kristen is the pretty girl who can get any type of guy, and even though she might know who the right guy to be with down the road, she's going to kind of put that person at arm's length. She might be coming in like 10-15%, but it's still not going to be. I mean, it's still not going to be enough to maintain this type of relationship that she wants right now. The issue that I have right now is Shaq is actually trying to the nth degree, and he's now getting frustrated about that, to the point that it's just getting to be frustrated. It's like, it's been 1 month, you won't kiss me. I like you. You won't tell me you like me. It's almost like the playground with the cooties. Like, I like you, I like me. You're giving the verbal cues of it, but verbalizing that last barrier to actually being in life with somebody, you're trying to hold off on that. You can see the little things, like the touch, like the touching, the rubbing of the head, like the thing, like she feels safe around him, but it's not attracted to him. And the issue is, for the past year and a half, if you're not attracted to me, leave me alone. Why are you still keeping this guy now at arm's length, or even 85% of length, when you know he's not the type of guy that you want to be with, per se? If you're going to base it on corniness, or based on like his facade, fine. But to me, you see, I want to say Shaq's a good dude. There's a lot of things about him that makes him upstanding person that a lot of women can see themselves being with. The fact is, this woman is going on board to saying this person is not the type, not compatible, not type person trying to work with him. To me, it's just mind-boggling. I don't understand this. And to me, it's like, you can see that it'd be one thing if she didn't like the person, it wasn't attracted to him, we want to get away from him, but you're giving me all the cues that you like this guy. You're showing me the little cutie signs. You seem like this guy, you're not appalled of. He's just not the type of person. Like if there's and to me, it's like, it's almost going back to the Family Matters, Stefan versus the Stefan, Steve type of lingo right here. Even if you were just take away all the attributes that she didn't like about Shaq right now to morph into what he wants, she still wouldn't give this guy the time of day. And that's my main issue. You can call it pretty privilege. You can call it, high standards, whatever it is. What's the deal right now? This guy's trying 100%. She's giving you 10. We all talk about 50-50, put 100%. We're not getting none of that right here. Leave my boy alone, because he's going to go to the dark side really quickly.
Go for Crystal.
Kojo. So Shaq is noticing that there are some cracks in the foundation. And this is what I was saying last week, that now that he's not paying attention to her, now she wants him to be with her. It makes no sense. I'm like, where was the shift? You can't just not show where the shift came from, and he's supposed to just jump on board. For weeks, you've been saying, I don't like your bald head. I don't like your sense of humor. I don't like the dad jokes. I don't like the way you talk to me. You lecture to me. Like, she doesn't like the way he talks, sense of humor. That's basically the whole character. And now 3 weeks later, now you all on board, and now you're talking about love language, and he doesn't give. I want him to be able to come jump on me and hug me and kiss me. I'm like, girl, you didn't even want. He asked for the kiss too. He wanted him to ask for a kiss. He asked for the kiss, and then you denied him. He was only able to do cheeks or forehead, and now you want him to be all over you and jump all over you. I said, where was this shift? Because I didn't see it. So we all know Shaq sure as hell didn't see it. So now you're mad that he's not doing the things that you want him to do. It makes no sense. And so Shaq is saying he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's doing all of the things to say, I'm interested. And he's like, am I being too patient? Now he's like, I don't know if I'm coming or going. So, and I did see the after party. There's two things I got to say. That after party, apparently, if they're sitting on the couch, so he'll try and make a move forward. If they're sitting on opposite ends of the couch, then he'll come and sit closer. So if a man who you've told that you don't like anything about him says, this is my wife, let me at least come sit closer to the couch, that's the move, because he's not going to jump on you, because you've already told him that you're not interested. So he's made the move closer, but then you're like, well, we don't have conversations. We don't have emotional. So he's made that move. So now it's time for you to make that next move to let him know that the invitation is there. But if you're not doing that, how is he supposed to know? And then I also thought about this. We kept talking about how he kind of talks over her. If she's not doing the opening up, and if she starts a conversation or asks a question, but she's not giving in that conversation, it probably does look like he's talking a lot, because he then is doing more of the communicating. And lastly, apparently she's talking a lot of this stuff to the ladies and to the girls and telling them everything, because Nicole, she's more than an interloper. Apparently she's passing notes under the door and saying, before you go to bed tonight, make sure you kiss Kirsten. Make sure you give her a big hug and tell her how much you care. What? And then when he brings it up to Kirsten, she's like, oh, that Nicole, she be tripping. No, actually open up to your man and tell him, okay, this is where the shift happens. I know I said all of those things in the beginning, but I now have had a change of heart, and I see, I'm, attracted to your bald head. Or, hey, say I spoke to my sister and I had a change. I saw that I was being, silly or whatever. Say something, because he doesn't know where he's supposed to be coming or going. And as a man who wants his wife, but he also doesn't want to catch a case, he's like, I am not I'm gonna make this move closer, but I'm not gonna. You're saying you want your man to be jumping all over you? How is he supposed to know that? How is he supposed to know that? And the mixed signals, there's cracks in the foundation. Shaq is now like seen them. They're blaring, and you're gonna really have to speak up, because to you may think that you're opening up, like you're open wide, and you're like, come get me. But how's he supposed to? I don't see Shaq seeing that. Yeah, and she thinks she's doing everything right. So it's just, I don't like you telling Nicole or any of the girls everything, but then you go to you're in a public setting and you say something different. So it's just, I'm not upset like old girl Morgan, but I'm just like, that's not cool for Shaq. That's not cool. Yeah, that's it for now. Because it's just, like you said, and this is what I said last week. She's playing in our faces. So I don't know where the break was. I don't know where the break was. That's it.
Listen, hey, look, Kirsten, if you're watching this, listen, I appreciate you. Listen, holler at me, okay? I know. But no, in all honesty, no, holler at me for real. But this situation with obviously Shaq and Kirsten is really interesting. So, I mean, I do actually understand and see that there is some games. I think, like I said earlier on, even the conversation earlier on where they were talking and he asks about, I want to be able to kind of speak to your family and stuff like that. And this is when I knew that she doesn't feel him like that at all. Yeah, because when you say to someone, oh, I need you to show a bit more commitment before obviously I introduce you to your family, I'm like, we are married. What more commitment do you want from me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got married on this day, I got married on this day. I already done seen your parents already. So why can't I meet your friends already? I think there's two things happening. Like, when I heard that, I heard two things, right? One, I do believe there's a bit of her playing around. Okay. I do think there's a bit of that play around. But I think the play around also is the fact that, like, it's coming from the fact that she doesn't like him like all the way through. But I also think as well, just kind of paying attention to every little detail that's happened on the show so far with Kirsten. I'm going back to my premise that there's something wrong with her. When I say wrong with her, and that sounds very wrong, she's given somebody who is she giving slightly, the attachment style is given slightly ambivalent, emotional avoidant. It mix between the two, but she's given that thing, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Like, she keeps distance between the family and him. One, obviously, yes, we can say that because she doesn't fancy him, but two, also because I don't think that's how her mind works. I think her mind compartmentalizes things. And I go back to that apartment. That apartment was so sparkly clean, but then your closet looks like doo-doo. And it's just everything everywhere. And that when you see something like that, it could be, again, we could say, hey, maybe she just moved in. Maybe she just did an Airbnb. Okay. But even if she'd done an Airbnb, the fact that closet looked like that, and that's not neatly put together like the whole rest of the house, that's telling me something. Why is your clothes not in a suitcase and making it look nice and neat in that little compartment? That told me a lot already. Because if you're a super neat person, or even if it's your Airbnb, you'd have packed it in a particular way so that, because when I go on holiday, I don't like unpacking my stuff because I hate packing. So I don't unpack. So if you come into my Airbnb when I was in Ghana, you'll see 3 suitcases with all the clothes in. Because I don't like unpacking, because that means I have to pack it back again. But if you come into my room, that will tell you something about how I think. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I saw the house, I said, this is confusing. Even if it's an Airbnb, why is your closet so mash up? Why is everything everywhere? You know what I mean? And I think that told me a little bit something about her own mindset. It's a compartmentalization. That tells me when you compartmentalize how you separate your feelings from actions completely. There's a huge separation that comes between the two. Now, am I giving her a pass? No, I'm explaining her behaviors. And I think that also comes into play. That's probably why she's not been able to connect to her past boyfriend. This is why she's not connected to Shaq in a particular way. Of course, I don't think she fancies him, but that's not a situation. But I think that also adds to the effect of being so easily being able to separate the two. And I think now we're seeing this aspect where she spent so much time with him. Almost it's like, for me, it's like when you spend so much time with somebody, you almost get used to having them. So it's not that you actually want them. It's the fact that you're so used to having them. And now when they shift their position, it's almost like I need to regain that back. Now, part of that is manipulative because you just want to be able to, of course, have the attention you want to have. But I think it does speak of something about her. Like there's something going on with her that is going beyond just what we're seeing with just her not liking him as well. Do you know what I mean? That being said, I mean, Shaq's a little bit sussy for me too. I ain't gonna lie to you, but not on this episode per se. But there's something not quite right with Shaq too. There's something not right there. And I'll say this is my final point. I said this last week. Kirsten last week alluded to it, right? About, I think, what she sees in him. When she was talking about the plants, she said, all right then, Missy. And I said, wait, when you say that, you know exactly why you're saying that, because that's how you see him. It's giving Karen and Miles all over again. I said, okay, sis is looking at him as a sis. She's not stimulated at all. Nothing's going on down there. The coochie's dry, bro. It's dry. It's dry. But I'm gonna say this last point. I said that last time, but because Sean was here now, that's what I want to say. The last point. I actually agree with Sean. I think he fluffed the bag. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he fluffed the bag. I think he could have got somewhere last week. There could have been some pennies, but he fluffed it up. I'm telling you, I think he could have. I think he could have got a little something, but he fluffed it up. But anyway, that's just my personal opinions. Hey, Kirsten, if you're out there, shout me Little Black Book, okay, 91, all right? Coaching free. Go for it. Trey was going to say something first. Sorry, Trey was going to say, he opened his mic first.
Oh, I was just going to say real quick, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at you, Coach. You haven't brought this up yet. This is funny. This is a prime example right here. We're looking at it live. A prime example of the same type of situation that Seaway brought up Saturday night. We talked about it Sunday. We talked about it Tuesday. This is what it looks like.
That's true.
When a man is more into his woman or his wife more than she is into him. This is the type of abuse I was talking about. It's too unequal. It's too unequal. This is what will happen. Just saying. Prime example.
And if I ain't mad that only you were open your mic before, and then Crystal and then Sean.
I hear what you're saying. The issue, we talk about men leading when it comes to relationships. Shaq is doing everything that he wants to do, but I don't think he's misreading the situation. What are the things that Kristen wants to do? The only times I've seen Crystal like super excited is when she was in Jamaica dancing during the honeymoon, and even now when she was skating. And you can see that these activities are things that she can do like by herself versus like in a couple with somebody else. Like I understand her being in a relationship with she doesn't have the skills per se to have that right now. Doesn't like to be around Shaq unless the cameras are on. She's given us way too many different signals at the same time. If Shaq is trying to seal the deal with Kristen, Shaq needs to do the things that Kristen wants to do in order to seal the deal. You don't try to do the things that you want to do and her just be off put. You find what she wants to do and you try to lead into that. So you're trying to take her into your world. It's not working. You got to move yourself into her world. That's where Shaq is missing the point, if anything. He's putting in effort, though, but just maybe misdirected or not in the right place. I don't know if that's not sealing the deal, but this girl likes him, but doesn't want to admit to it. I'm doubling down on it now.
I just want to co-sign really quickly on a little bit on what you were saying about the emotional blockage. I definitely agree with you to a certain extent. You talked about the apartment and the closet, but even that apartment, how it was sparse, She doesn't want to have an emotional attachment to pictures, to anything. It almost like she doesn't want to make a decision. It's almost so it was so bare that she doesn't want to have an emotional attachment. She doesn't want to make a decision on anything. So that house is so bare. That speaks to her as well. That speaks to her lack of wanting to have something tangible that she can have on the wall that she can look at. That speaks to it as well. That emotional blockage, that she doesn't want to have anything that she can actually care about to an extent. I definitely think there's something that apartment says a lot. The closet as well, but that apartment, how sparse it was, says a lot about what's going on. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Yeah. But I also, that's not Shaq's fault. And so I almost think that that's another reason why she came on the show, is because she didn't want to make a decision anymore. You know, she's had a bad picker, her picker's off, let somebody else make the decision. That's it.
Absolutely. Go for it, Sean.
My caption says it all. I told y'all so. Nicole slid the note under the door that said, all you need to do, and I don't get no sneak previews of the maths episode, and I just want you to go to the receipts, rewind the tape. She said all he needed to do was throw on some R&B tunes and get to work. Now, y'all can say she's capping if you want to, but she done told old girl what she got to cap for her off camera behind the scenes for. He's doing too much. You have to know when to hold them and when to fold them, okay? And look, I'm not saying she was gonna, make it, they're gonna be together forever, but he had a window of opportunity. And sometimes when you have a window of opportunity, you got to strike while the iron is hot. She brought out that, the little pedicure set. And even remember this episode, she said to him, she said, so you're not thinking past decision day? She was like, so she's seeming like she wants more. Now, is that all of her? I don't know. But I'm telling you, there's a part of her that is considering it, because like y'all told us, she's growing. Her attraction grew a little bit, so she's ready for him to move, just kind of get over it because it grew. So y'all told us, y'all proved us wrong, right? Her attraction grew and he had a little tiny window. But what did he have to do? Start nitpicking about plants, started going back and forth about what you didn't do and what I didn't do. Dried her up just like the Sahara. She wants him to come to work and come home from work and talk to her. Look, I'll come home to you, baby. I'll rub your feet. I'll draw your bath. And let's go. And let's see what it's going to be. Because if it's going to be capped, then I'm going to call you out. But it ain't going to be without me trying first. I ain't going to leave here with something. And that's all I'm saying. Sometimes you got to know when to just shh. If she's giving you that eye, she gave him that eye. I'm sorry. She give you that little eye, that little window. You just got to shh and pivot. Shh, pivot. And his pivot game is off. And I land my plane.
Yo. Hey, Sean be killing me. Yo, Sean be killing me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't see it. I didn't see it last week. I didn't see it all the way last week. But then this week came out, and then we see the next week's previews. I said there was a chance, at least, even if it's just a little chance to. I said, And I started looking back at the clips. I was like, he be talking too quickly. He asked her a question and she gets like a 5-second pause, and then he hits her with another question. I'm like, sir, you can't get into the practice. Just quiet. But I'm being facetious, obviously. But I do feel there's a chunk. I'm not. Listen, by the way, I personally would have been gone long time. You understand? Me personally, I would have been gone. I already told you my rules. I don't break down rules. Okay, so Me and Kirsten would have, if I would have seen the energy from early and be like, yeah, I got to go. I don't break down walls. But since you're here for 8 weeks and you ain't got nothing else but a choice, you had breaking walls, sir. You got to leave here with something. Okay. But you know, I think you could have taken I'm just saying that I think when I've watched those moments, and again, I've called her out as well this episode, but I'm saying like when I've watched some of the intimate moments where it's like you want her to open up about something, right? He just does something that I tell people just to hold off a little bit on. This is not just a Shaq thing, to everybody. When you ask someone a question and they are struggling already to open up with you, you jumping in early, it's not helping the situation. It doesn't solve your issue. You know what I mean? It's almost like when people say I'm okay with silence, and some people are like, I'm not okay with silence. So when you ask a question, I've got to make sure I talk. It's like sometimes you just need to just hold off, give them a bit more space so that you see, and you told me you've seen me do it on my own channel, so you know I'm not capping. I've done it plenty of times. I did it with several people, cast members. And most importantly, what's the last one I had? Was it Sharice or whatever? And Sharice was, this girl was giving me so much back to back. And I just kept myself calm. I was like, okay, cool. I'm still going to hate for you. By the time the thing had ended, what happened? The girl had opened up and told me everything. Why? Because I gave her room to actually speak. Sometimes people don't get the room. Again, I'm not saying that this thing is going to work. This thing is not going to work at this rate. I'm saying that in a part of it, I think what you're saying, Sean, that pivot is that opportunity just to be able to give her. Because when we saw last week with the eye patch thing that they were doing or whatever they're doing with their spa thing, just as she was answering the question, she started saying, I have a lot to me. Then she paused. So what is it then? I already know about you then. So what is it about? And I said, bro, hold off. Just pause the brakes a little bit. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not saying that, this was going to work. I'm just saying that I think a little bit more time, just give a bit more space. Do you know what I'm saying? Let her breathe a little bit. But you know what? This would have worked if the experts had got involved and they had told Shaq, pause the frick up. Just hold off a little bit. When you ask a question, give her room to explain. I think he would have got a better response, personally. Just personally, you know what I mean? So, but I could be capping, you know what I mean? I'm not seeing the boudet, and so I could be capping, so, JR, you haven't spoken yet, so JR, talk to me.
Okay, good evening, gang, first of all. Listen, I heard you guys trying to explain Kirsten's position. Listen, she's a walking contradiction, all right?
Agreed.
At the beginning, when she was telling her friend about, she wants him to make moves now. She wants him to be forward and touch her more and try and be intimate, initiate more. Listen, the friend gave her the side eye, flared nostrils, looked to the side. She was like, come on. Like, this is not what you were saying last week. This isn't the feedback you've been saying all throughout the experiment so far. So, yeah. But I think that exposed the fact that Kirsten, I think she's trying to portray herself a certain way so she doesn't feel bad or look bad. I'm not completely swayed on which one it is, but it's either she doesn't want to feel bad or look bad for her being like not attracted to him and still going through the process. When she said that she wants him to give her more time and more spend more time doing things that she likes to do, I sensed frustration on Shaq's part, because he's thinking, man, what else do I have to do? I've given you grace every single week. He hasn't put it on her. He hasn't been forceful. He hasn't tried to sneak touch, spoon, and hopefully things go, his way. He hasn't been doing anything like that from what we see. So I think she's now sensing how fed up he is, and that he's beginning to put his mind state into, okay, it's a no on decision day now, because you've had long enough. And because she can feel that, I think she's trying to pull him back in to keep the attention on her, to keep that same level of interest that he had before. But I think it may be too late, because the level of frustration he's showing, like you said, Coach, he's now beginning to be more vocal than maybe necessary. And even though he's doing it with a smile on his face, kind of, he's not mad, but I really think she's downplaying how rejected he feels. He's been rejected every week. Like I said, he hasn't needed to initiate it to even be rejected. She's already come in with a certain mindset as to what she's looking for, and he's not it. So he's already starting at a disadvantage. A month in, he's still at a disadvantage. And if they were to be intimate now, I'm quite sure that it wouldn't be for the right reasons. Like, it wouldn't be because she's genuinely feeling him. It may be to try and change his mind about decision day. That's what I got.
Fish one, you were gonna say something. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that we shouldn't be so like logical. It's not NFP then Q. Most people emotions don't really work like that. And then if you also put yourself in the mind frame of someone like a Kirsten, she likes the chase and she also likes a little bit of challenge. And Shaq did point out something that she's used to be getting her way, right? So a little bit of it has to be a dance, and it's called the art of seduction for a reason. And if you're not doing the dance, you're gonna miss windows, because sometimes there are instances where people who maybe didn't like you, they might give you a slight window for whatever reason, right? And that's all I'm saying, is he's missing the mark because he's too busy fighting to be right. Because in his heart, he feels rejected. In his heart, he feels like he's got the picture painted. So he wants to be right. So now that she's giving him an inch of a little bit of whatever it is, he's going to keep pouncing on her versus pull back. You have to pull back, right? If you get that opening, and she's somebody also that I've noticed in watching her, she's very guarded. So she's slow to express herself. So if she's taking her time to try to say something, then you have to ask more probing questions. You have to, and she's kind of telling him that way. Doesn't make it right, but she's telling him, I want us to get deeper. I want to know more. But he's like, well, just tell me. That's not how she operates. She's a guarded person. So you need to step out and, just say, hey, listen, baby, I'm hearing you. It seems like there's something that you are trying to say. And then maybe you reword. So what I'm hearing is, right? So I saw that note that Nicole slipped under the door about, just slip some R&B on. So look, what's your favorite song? This is my favorite song. I like Tank, When We. Can I put that on for you? Can we listen together? You and me. And we don't have to talk about anything. Shh, it's too much. He needs the shh, just bring down the strength, bring down the energy. I know you're right. I know she rejected you. You got a window, bro. You got a window. You're not with your little mentees. This is a full-grown, corn-fed, beautiful Southern woman. Just shh, baby, let me put on a candle and let me drop this playlist for you. Because I think we're doing too much tussling. So I think we're just tussling. We're fighting too much. And I appreciate you. That's it. Look her in the eyes and talk to her. Talk to her soul. And I think that's the problem. He's doing too much. This is not the time to debate. Come on, Little Black Book, and debate with us, Shaq. We'll debate with you. But when you alone with Kirsten, shh, relax.
You're doing too much. No, I mean, listen. I'll give the other side, because I'm, as much as I'm cooking on one side, I'll give the other side. I do think it's very difficult as well for the other party. And okay, so let me give my honest opinion on this, right? So watching it from a perspective, I can see myself in Shaq a lot. You know, my younger self, I can, and I knew that as soon as she decided to show a bit of interest, he gonna punish her. Because like you are not, your pride is not gonna let you have that kind of nonsense. Like, what do you mean? I was liking you from the beginning, you rejected me. No, you gonna get this work. You gonna get this work. You know what I mean? So your frustration, your resentment, your anger is going to come through because you've been trying and she's been rejecting you. And now when you just want to do your own thing, now she want to come into your life and come back and come and get your attention. Now, the darker version of me also too saw this for Shaq, and I was like, in my head, I was whispering to Shaq, now you got the power, sir. Make it work. You know what I mean? Like the darker part of me was like, Shaq, you've got the power. Make it work. Because now she's come back, yeah, and telling you that she wants this. She said, hey, if you want that, you got to show me something. Because I'm not about to give you room in my space in my life now, and you come back and do whatever you want. This is how I want it to go. When they come, you say you want to show me that you actually like me. Let me see some consistency from you. Let me see you affirming me, right? You say you want, and my issue with Kirsten is that she be telling other people other stuff that she don't be telling Shaq. Telling other people, baby, it don't work like that. You understand? Yeah, can't be getting vexed at me and then telling me stuff when you ain't telling me. You know what I'm saying? You telling your friend that you want me to come home and give you a kiss. Are you telling me? Because if you're not telling me, how am I supposed to do this? That's impossible. I can't do what I've not been told to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're expecting me to, and I think where I'm going to align with Sean and also add on to it is there is a dance, but here's a problem with Kirsten. Kirsten's used to dance with people that are emotionally unavailable. I have a feeling she has danced with people who are emotionally unavailable. So this dance that you do often is not a dance of one that's healthy. It's one of push and pull. Who is going to pull the other in which direction? And it's a toxic type of dance that usually happens. And that toxic dance where someone cares much more or someone doesn't care as much is usually the dance that she's usually playing. And I think this is the dance that she's brought with Shaq, because a person's become available and showed you something. And now you're like, no. But now the person's gone away. You're like, okay. Because it's that dance that that tells me more about her than it does about Shaq. It says you want to be pushed and pulled. That you're used to some level of dysfunction and toxicity in your relationship. The way you're dealing with it, you're not used to a healthy relationship, because that's what you're looking at right now, right? So and I'll say that the extra point, the reason why I said that's because when he actually brought up the point about the fact that, hey, look, you know, in this situation between me and you didn't want to touch me, you didn't want to do this, you don't do that. And I said it in my review, instead of her saying, you know what, I hear that. And you know what? I put my hands up. I apologize. Her next thing was, okay, but we're here now. And I'm like, what do you mean we're here now, sis? And what you're not gonna do is ignore the fact we had 4 weeks or whatever, 3 weeks, whatever beforehand, and it wasn't great. I was chasing you, and you didn't want it, and now you want to chase. Now you want to suddenly you want me to be more available. It doesn't work like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So in that case, that's why I saw her. I said, okay, so sis, you need to work on you. All right, you need to really work on you, because it seems like you like the push and the pull. All right, conversation, and you don't want to mention. And this is given. Let me tie this all in. When we started the season, what did she say? If he had asked me, I would have kissed. He would have said yes. But when he did ask, she didn't want it. Right? Now, then we come a little bit later on, and we see again she's done something similar, telling her friends that, hey, look, you know what? I wanted to come home and do this kind of thing. I think she likes a guy that just does things. But the problem with that is they're usually these guys that don't respect you. The guys that just do things without thinking about your feelings or whether it's right for you or not, those type of guys are disrespectful. They're not respectful of you, nor your boundaries, nor your body, nor your mind. All right. So I think she needs to have a rewiring of the way she looks at things. Do you get what I'm saying? I think she's used to playing games, and I think this is also a part of her gaming in a little bit as well. You know, a little bit of her gaming in here. So, you know, I'm just going to tell you straight. As for me, It couldn't be me. Okay. All right. Because I'm going to leave here with something. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I'm going to play my part till I get mine and I'm going to be out the door. That's my dark self talking. Anyway. But who wants to go next? Who wants to talk on this? Or who wants to add their 2 penny pence?
Well, like I've said for the last couple of weeks, Shaq is leaving here with nothing. You know, the only person he's got closer to in this marriage is himself. All right. Trey. Yeah, Trey know what I'm talking about. Now, the thing is, he has not only given her grace to try and get around the walls and the barriers that she's put up in order for them to get closer, right? But if you look at the fact that they have spent a lot of time together not being intimate, so pretty much all they've done is go on dates, spend time together, have conversations, go to sleep together, wake up together, you know, and it's on repeat for the whole month so far. So this notion that she needs more quality time, that's all you've had. That's literally all you've had. You haven't had anything else. You haven't had the distraction of going to bed and sleeping with each other and, you know, having the sex part distract you. All you've had is a concentrated blast of talking, what you like, what you don't like. I don't want you to kiss me. I don't want you to touch me. You know, you've had all of that for a month straight. And Coach, Sean, you've both pointed out how physically gifted and blessed Kirsten is. All right. Now, imagine this girl is attractive. You're attracted to her. She's not attracted to you. For a whole month, you're sharing the bed and doing all everything else. It is going to be, you're probably either going to take the rejection worse because of how much you rate her and you're not seeing anything coming back, or you're going to be in a situation where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to have to let it be because I've shown her who I am. She's met my family. She come to my house. We spent time together. Like, we've done all these different things so far. And she still is only now rubbing my head in front of the group, holding hands in front of the camera. Off camera, she don't want to chat to me. She don't want to hold my hand. She don't want to be intimate. So the level of rejection that might inflict upon someone might be very tough to deal with. I'm not sure I would be able to be as calm as Shaq is. Like, I would have probably been like, okay, this ain't gonna work. Probably from week 2. And don't get it twisted. I know this experiment must be very tough because you're meeting someone blindly. This isn't someone that you've selected and you started going on dates and things. But she knew that going in. The chances of you meeting your Mr. Perfect or, you know, this guy that's going to be Prince Charming or anything, is very slim. But she got a decent guy from what we've seen. He hasn't raised his voice, lost his cool, flipped out, said anything about orgies or anything else like our other brother on the show. By all stretch of imagination, you know, she could have done a lot worse. So I don't blame Shaq for kind of saying, you know what, it's getting to that point now. How much more can he take? He's sharing the bed with this lady who's, as you rightly said, you know, she has some very good qualities physically about her that would attract most men. Very attractive lady. So I think he's going to handle the rejection a lot. He's going to take it to heart a lot more. That's what I'm saying. He's going to take it a lot to heart a lot more. It's natural. Like, I don't see how he's supposed to sugarcoat it anymore and keep on appeasing her without getting any type of reciprocity.
Yeah, so I think what I'll say to that is that first, we can't swing the pendulum so far to the left or the right, right? Because Aris is an extreme in his own right, but we also have to acknowledge that Shaq is an extreme on his own right too. He hasn't done everything 100% correct, from my opinion, and we've been calling certain things that he's done from the very beginning, whether it's not being communicative when it comes to taking her to the to that conference, right, during their honeymoon. Other instances where she has expressed that he starts to teach her, right? So those things also don't bode well for romance. So if you are in you got a challenge, right, where the person, one person is not completely attracted to them, and then you're going to grate on their nerves, and you're going to start to try to school them and teach them, when instead of learning them and understand them, I think that he was wrong with that approach. Now, is he okay to, I'm not, fighting with him for being offended, or, maybe in his feelings a little bit about her initially not being attracted to him and some of the rejection he faced. However, if you're going to stay in this experiment, right, he didn't make today his decision day, he chose to stay. At a certain point, you do have to pivot and let it go. And what I would say is, in all of my tongue in cheek of the matter, there's a point in marriages where you have to learn to let it go, right? Because if you're going to stay in it and you're going to keep harping on it, right? You didn't like me, you didn't want me, but now you want me. So what do you want to do, sir? If this is what she's telling you, we don't know. We have to vet it out to see if it's a lie or not. But if you're assuming because she said she wasn't attracted to you weeks ago, now she's saying she wants more intimacy, whether it's direct or indirect, this is what the messaging that you're getting. Are you prepared to pivot, or do you just want to continue and stand and prove on your point? Because if you want to do that, then just check out of the relationship, right? Because you can check out. But you're going to continue to stay and be petty. It's like when somebody cheats in a relationship, right? And these are just examples I'm throwing out. They're not exact comparisons. But somebody cheats and they still choose to stay together, right? But the person continuously says, you cheated, you did everything wrong, and da-da-da-da. Then they ride it out for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Then you might as well have left me, because having me sit in misery is still not a good relationship, right? You can't tell somebody when to get over something, but at a certain point, if you're going to stay, you need to make inroads to get over it, especially if you see the person making an effort. Lastly, I will say there's a famous poem or like character in literature. It's called Cyrano de Bergerac, right? So in Cyrano de Bergerac, he was in love with this woman, and there's actually a movie made about it. And he was so in love with her, but he felt he had a big nose. So what did he do? He indirectly wrote poetry. He used other people to talk about his feelings. Was that the right way? Was that a direct way? No. However, I'm saying perhaps it's possible that there's a little breadcrumb that Kirsten, because she's not a communicator, she's very, very guarded. She might be scared. She might be scared of rejection herself. So she's telling Nicole, we know she just bumps her gums all day long and wants to tell everybody what to do. So she might be like, listen, if he might try this, I might give him a shot. It could be Cap. I'm not saying it's 100% not, but trust me, somebody slides a note under my door, and there's a beautiful woman in that room with me, and she's giving me some clues, I'm going to drop my pride just a little bit to see what it's going to be. I got to test it out. I'm going to shh and test it out. Now, if it's Cap, then from then on, we're going to go away.
You guys want to add anything? I'm sure you guys will disagree with Sean. So come on, put the points in there. Go for it. Yeah.
Listen, if he want to be lost, I'm gonna let that man be lost. Okay, he don't want to be saved. It's okay. Sometimes you gotta let them walk over the cliff. You try to stop them, but they are determined to walk over. All right, bro. I did what I could. I tried to save you. Holla at me from the bottom.
I hear you. Oni, did you want to add anything to it?
I'm with Sean. He got 4 weeks to close his deal. If he doesn't, I don't want to hear anything about it.
No, he's got 4 weeks to close the
He
deal.
got 4 weeks. I don't want to hear anything after that point.
Yeah, go for it, Crystal.
The Cyrano de Bergerac comparison, I just don't see. What's her name? Now I've lost her name. Kirsten. I get Cyrano de Bergerac. I know it. I'm familiar with it. But Kirsten, Nicole being the go-between, that's, and even if it is, like Sean said, hey, maybe cap, but let's say it is. What is she doing to give him that in? What is she doing? Okay, so the note was written, and then what's his name? Shaq brings the note up. Hey, and he literally reads the note. He said, I sat down on the bed, I read the note to her, and she's like, that Nicole, she be tripping sometimes. Girl, then why don't you just listen? If your man is sitting on the bed and you know you want him, you should get right in front of him and get down low, like Sean said, and say, yeah, I did say that to Nicole. I am interested. I've changed my mind. And now I would like to explore something. I would like you to kiss me. But she didn't do any of that. I am interested. But she didn't. So she doesn't write poetry. She don't sing.
Justice. Mm-hmm.
Hey, why did Crystal hit us with the sultry, sexy voice? What's happening? What was that? I had to look up. Whoa. Something risen in me. I'm like, what is this? What's happening?
Listen, if she there, Sean, then let her win. Then she need to let him walk through that door, and then he will walk the other way.
Your Honor, can I just supply some evidence to the case? Just to supply this evidence to the case. Just this little piece here. I want to be,
spending time in my life with you, like making memories. I can't wait for us to start traveling together.
For me, what I'm looking for the most is spending quality time with your friends, spending quality time with your family. Like, family is a very, very important aspect of
Bro, come on. This is what I'm talking, the finesse. She wants to travel, spend time with you. I want to get to know your friends? Wrong road.
He caught them lies. It was all cap. He knew it. So he gave us some cap too.
Trey, you putting 10 on 2 for him because that's ridiculous. That's his natural response. He was not lying. That's what he thought. And this is what I'm saying. He ain't got no game.
I'm not saying that he do. I never said that. I'm just saying from what came out of her mouth, please. If you believe that,
look,
I'm sorry, I can't help
you. Like, where we going? Let's have a staycation. F your friends. Care about your friends.
I'm a perfect y'all, I'm a perfect y'all.
Sean, you are not saying that after being rejected for 4 weeks straight. No way.
I think you have to. Sometimes we get so focused on winning the little fight, we lose sight of the big picture. If you give me an in, trust, we can dance.
But that's the thing.
I don't mind leading the dance, and I think that's what I'm pointing out is he's not skilled enough to lead the dance. And again, it's about the pivot. If you tell me that moment, then I'm not going to tell you about your friends. That's to me is like, it just doesn't make sense. How can we defend that? Okay, we could say she's lying, but his response is still off.
But Sean, come on. All of this is predicated on her liking him. She don't like him. Now, if she actually liked him a little bit from the beginning, then you would have valid points. He'd be messing up. You're like, bro, what you doing? You ain't got no game. She don't like him. Now, if she did, this would be a whole different conversation. Whole different conversation. If you was in Shaq's position and she didn't like you, I'm sorry, Sean, you would look like a fool out here trying to play playlists. Baby, please, let me start taking them heels off. Quick way up. Well, hold on, call the cops. Get off me, fool. Nah. If she don't like you, she don't like you. That means everything else coming afterwards is just fluff. It's cap. We keep saying attraction matters. We keep saying this. You the main one that say, hey, if you don't like me, tell me. She's not telling him. She don't like him like that. Now she's trying to force herself to make herself look better for this whole situation. Like, oh, I mean, I want, I just want to spend time together. And the funny thing is, she never said spend time with you. She just spend time together. He wasn't specifically the recipient of that. Words matter.
So I agree with both of you, right? And I'll tell you why I agree with both of you. What I want to see on Shaq is, and I think this is what you're also saying and what Trey's saying as well, right? Which is, if she's lying, we need to call her out. You see, you remember like Alyssa and Chris from a few seasons ago, right? If you lying, I'm gonna call you out. Then we got a face off, right? And now we're gonna see you for what you really are. You know what I'm saying? The problem is, as I see what Sean is saying is that you're dancing with it and then complain at the same time. Choose one. Call her out or dance with it. Either way, can't do both and then be complaining about what other person's doing, because you're locking yourself up. What I mean by that is, either you call her out for saying, hey, I think you're lying about the way you're behaving. I don't believe this is actually true. Or stop. You can't do both by going, okay, I'm not happy the way. Apologies. You're almost like saying, instead of actually like this situation here, right? Like Sean was saying, she said, obviously, I want to spend the whole time with you. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, but I'm looking to explore the situation with you, go along with the conversation. But then he kind of goes halfway by going, yeah, I want to see your friends and everything else, and then complains later on about the fact that he feels that she's not being intimate with him. And I'm like, yo, bro, choose one, call her out, and just be straight and say, hey, look, I think you're being dubious. And I'm not gonna put myself forward anymore if this is what it is. So tell me now, what is it? Are you feeling me or not? That way it cancels everything. Because the half kind of saying it, but not calling her out all the way, it kind of leaves it open in the book. Do you know what I mean? So I'm with you guys. I'm saying I'm with both of you. I'm saying I think he's just called her out then. If that's the case, call her out and call her on her bullshit and say, hey, I don't think you like me like that. Right? So I'm going to be very real with you. Let's do you know what I mean? Otherwise, then you're on some bullshit too, just the same way she's on some bull. Sorry, I apologize for French there. You're on some bull crap, as long as she's on bull crap. Do you know what I mean? Then now it makes it harder. Like, okay, so is she lying? But then, so why are you saying you want to meet her friends? What for? If you know that she isn't doing what, if you know she's capping, why you want to meet her friends? See, now you involved in it too. So that's what I'm saying. So just call her out clean. So she has to come out to the foreground. Put the light right on her neck and her face and her body and say, listen, you've been capping for a long time. You know what I mean?
Do you know why he want to talk to the friends? And it's kind of petty, but you know why he want to talk to the friends? Because we saw in the beginning, the friends liked him.
That's very true.
The friends liked him. One of them was like, hey, if you don't want him, send him over here. The friends like him. So he's thinking, you know what? If I just get close to the friends, talk to them, maybe I can use them as an in-between, put in a good word, talk some sense into her. Some people think like that. Some dudes move like that. I know he's not. I know he's not. But that's how he's moving. That's how he's moving.
And just to add, and someone just put it as well, how can you quit a job and not tell her and then be... So we got to choose which lane we want. Because if I quit my job without telling you, I'm thinking about the future between me and you. You're confusing me. Brother, that's what I'm saying. Call her out. Otherwise, stop complaining and say, like, how do we sort this out now? You know what I mean? That's where you have to kind of be like, okay, then if we're not calling her out, that's fine. How are we sorting this out, Kirsten? You're saying better communication. Okay, let's come with a plan then, because we need to get this all. We need to put a plan together. Because I can't do what we did 4 weeks ago, which is that you out here, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I she really either doesn't really like him really much, or she got bad intimacy problems. Because how you rub his head is like how a mother rubs a child's head. Just gonna be honest with you. When she's rubbing his head on the table, it gave unnatural. Because when women normally kind of rub your head, it's usually not towards the back of the head. It's almost like a little scratch kind of thing, but it's not usually the way she did. She did like it's a magic ball. She did this like it's a magic ball, like a daughter does to their dad when they're trying to take the mick out of them. Like, dad, you got no your head. That kind of rub. That's what I'll be honest with you. That's what was given. Yeah. So either you really don't like this guy badly, or you really don't do well with intimacy in intimate things. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and
sure.
she said, I don't like to kiss, or I'm not a good kisser.
So why did she invite him to kiss? Like, why did she tell her friends that all he has to do is say that he wants to kiss her or make a move to do it, and she'll oblige? Like, it's all cap. Like, he has started calling out her inconsistencies. Like, he literally has said, "Look, how are you going to tell me one thing for most of the time we've been together, and then now you're coming with something different?" That is calling her out. He doesn't need to do it disrespectfully, but he's actually asking these questions. Like, the two can't be the same thing. Like, you've been telling him, like, raw, I don't like the ball head. We've covered that over all the weeks of this season, because that was a main factor for her. You know, she didn't like his sense of humor approach. She didn't like when he was going into too much explanation about things. When she's given the chance to open up and speak, she doesn't really open up and speak because she's quite guarded and got walls up. You know, like, so every time he feels like he's giving her grace and giving her the time, you know, he's not getting rewarded for that. Like, he's not. So if you're suggesting that, you know, when she says, let's go, I want to travel, I want to go and see what to do what? To go and sit down and and talk again and rub his head again. And listen, we definitely know she wiped her hand across her clothes or under the table or something after she did that. She's not feeling him. Like, there's no way, two ways about it. Yes, you can call out Shaq for certain things, not being as strong or whatever, but listen, he's given her grace. Yeah, he doesn't seem like a forceful guy, but he has also been firm in saying, look, if this is how I'm feeling, by the time decision day comes, I'm going to be saying no. Right? So now she's dug herself a massive hole. The whole month of not being attracted to him, and him knowing that, him waking up with that realization every day. What? So now he's meant to travel abroad with her and spend more money and devote more time for no outcome coming back. What? Now because she's not a good kisser. So, okay, no intimacy, no kissing. What? Like, and I'm not saying that intimacy is the be all and end all, but it is a vital component when you're in a relationship or in a marriage, because that's kind of the glue that makes you feel like you are attracted to each other. And if that isn't there, then you might as well be homies. He might as well go and meet your friends, because you're treating him no different to how you're treating your friends. And I think it was also very telling when she said, like, after he said, look, he reiterated about the decision day stuff. She said, now I feel cautious about introducing him to my friends and family because he may not be here for the long haul. Please.
She just said that. She just said that. Mm-hmm.
My last point. I agree with you about not telling. He should have told her about the job. But if I have turned the corner, and maybe that was her turn of the corner, maybe after she heard that, she's like, oh, well, this is a real man. Oh, he really does like me. Well, then when we come home having dinner with all these couples, and I'm now interested, he's sitting on the bed, he's reading a note from a friend. I'm going to walk in between him. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm not really good at intimacy, but Let's get a massage. Why don't I start here and you take over? I'm going to introduce some things and let him do the rest of the work. But is she doing that? Has she done any of those things? I'm telling you guys, if she wants him to do those things, she needs to speak up. So listen, her friends are doing all this work for her. It's not working like that no more, sister. You can't do that. When you've told this man for 4 weeks that you don't like his face, you don't like his head, you don't like his sense of humor, you don't like the way he talks, she's gonna have to do some work. If a man is sitting on the bed and you're interested and you want him to hug and kiss all over you, then sit next to him. Hey, stand in between them. Show that ass that Sean is talking about. That's it.
Well, Crystal, we definitely appreciate your sexy rendition. That was very, very enchanting. But what I will say is
You did the
that,
same thing, Sean.
no, I'm just giving you a compliment. So what I would say is, so often we as men are called to be leaders. We're typically the ones that are going to have to lead in the romance. And he's not doing that. And in several instances where he's had opportunities to lead in the romance, he has not done that. I haven't seen one romantic thing that he has done. He really has not. He has fumbled each and every chance and in that she's given him. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most experienced brother, because I'm not, but in more often than not, in my intimate moments, I've been the one leading, and, then the woman will reciprocate. Now, there are some women that are comfortable and very forward, and I've had that experience. However, more often than not, I'm the one leading, and then the woman is able to reciprocate. So in order for Kirsten to do all that you just did, first of all, she would have to have that in her. I don't see that in her personality. And I don't see it in Shaq's personality either, to be forward and to be, enough to know how to navigate the moment and navigate a romantic moment. So that's all I'm saying. I think that there's a couple of ends that he had, and at the end of the day, he fumbled the bag. And at the very least, he could have said, hey, listen, I've tried, At the end of the foot massage, I kicked the cameras out. But every time, I don't want to hear about editing, but every time it seems like she gives him a little in, he starts talking about foolishness. He wants to tussle about plants. He wants to talk about, what she didn't do 2 weeks ago. Well, it's 2 weeks later, bro. You're in an experiment. Maybe she just want to experiment. And I'm okay if you're just going to experiment. That's what I'm saying. I'm not telling you, I think, she's turned a complete 180 and she's ready to go all the way and, be his wife forever and a day. No, I'm saying, let's see where this pivot takes us. Shh, we're doing too much talking. And let's do some doing. And if you want us to travel, let's travel. Let's travel right into that master bedroom and see what that's going to bring us. That's all I'm saying. And now if you want to start saying, oh, no, I'm just playing. Oh, so what? So you playing with me. Okay. So then it could be next time when you ready, you want to come on in this room. I'm going in the room to the left. And when you ready, you can come to the room to the left. And if you ain't, then today can be our decision day. But what you're not going to do is sit up here and entice me and tell me we can do this. We can go on vacations. You can tell Nicole that it can go down if I would just relax. Well, I'm taking your advice. I'm taking your lead. That's what I would say.
I'm going to submit some more evidence to the bar. Okay.
Laugh now. I was a little stressed
Let me go
out
back
at
a
the
little
table. Oh, goodness. I'm glad we can laugh now. I was a little stressed out at the table.
It just, for me,
Let me just say this first. Yeah. What you're not going to do to me is bring your body close to me, and I'm not going to call you out on it and say, hey, listen, if you're playing that game, I want to let you know, listen, I'm ready to take advantage. But if you know you're not ready to play that game, I need you to stop playing those games because I'm not here for it. Choose one. Because I can't do that whole you getting close to me, you putting your leg on my leg now, I'm touching you. Listen, I'm a person that's black or white, so I don't play those games. So as soon as I see you trying to play the games, I'm like, either we choosing one or the other. Okay? I'm not about to start sexually taking off your shoe, your heel. I'm just not about it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not for me. So I'm gonna let you know from early. Listen, baby, I see that you're trying to push up on me a little bit now. What's going on? Because I just need to understand. I told you, me personally, I like to read signs. I told a story about this when I was in Ghana. I said there's one girl that I was talking to. She was kind of giving the energy, but then as soon as I paid for something, the energy shifted. And I said the reason why I understood why the reason wasn't just because of the money, it's because of what it meant. I personally like to see moments, and if I see something is changed, I ask the question why. If it's changed the opposite for me too, I like to ask the question why. And once I've asked why, and if the answer is satisfactory, I'm gonna observe a little bit more, and I'm gonna go with it. If not, I'm gonna leave it. But for me, once I saw the leg come upon you, put the leg here and your foot here, and you're asking me to dangle one, that's my slip up, but don't worry about that. You know what I mean? And you put your foot in my face like that, you're inviting my hands to your feet, to your leg. I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna spin your leg this way and go, listen, darling, you bring your leg over here. I want to let you know, listen, I appreciate it. It's a beautiful leg. But I can't play this game if you know that you ain't feeling me like that. So either we're playing this game or we're not playing this game. I want to let you know. But as for me, how I play this game, I don't do those things. And that's how I do it. Because I never want to catch a case. So for me personally, y'all should know consent's a very big thing to me. I take consent to the highest hill. Some girls know I take it to the highest hill. So if now you put your leg like that, I'm gonna let you know from the hey. If we're doing that, just to let you know how I'm interpreting it, it's a moment for me. I'm just gonna be honest. So if you know that you're not feeling man like that, don't do that. Because even if you're not feeling man, you're playing that game, that's scary for me too. Because if I read it wrong and I take advantage of that situation, I'm now in trouble. So I need to make sure, hey, I'm unsure where I stand with you. So now you putting your leg on me like that, and I appreciate that. But how I read the situation is, do you know what I'm saying? So for me, I can't play that game. I don't know if Shaq is able to say that. I don't know if that's in Shaq's vocabulary, but for me, you can't play that game with me because I'm a hunter and I'm going to hunt and I'm going to kill. So I need to know that this is the game that we're playing or not. So what you were saying about the bedroom thing, that's the same thing. It's like, I'm going to make it very black and white so you can't dance in the gray with me. Because right now it's very gray in the way we're playing. So if you know that she's playing behind the cameras, I'm going to call you out because I'm going to make it black and white because you ain't about to play. We're not going to make it gray on the screen when you know exactly that if you're playing with me and you know that this is cap, I'm going to call you out. I'm like, hey, you're moving, you're coming, you're sitting next to me, you're putting your body next to mine, you're now putting your leg all over me, you've been rubbing my head, you've been touching me for the last few weeks or last few days, whatever you want to call it, I don't know whether the last episode or whatever. I'm gonna call you out. I'm like, hey, I'm seeing some change of behavior. I want to make sure this is because I'm reading it in a particular way. I want to know that we're heading the same direction. Because as for me, when I start reading that, I'm seeing some positivity and I'm going to take it on. Is that where we are? And if you tell me, listen, hey, look, I'm starting to open up, I'm starting to see you a bit differently, then I can go, great. Let me stop talking and let me just start moving with it. But I'm going to make sure you're going to say something. This is coming back to what I said about people going into situationships, because this is becoming a situationship within the marriage. Ask the question so that the person has to make it black and white, because you're seeing certain behaviors shifting and it's moving. If I tell you straight, this is going to avoid certain situations now. Now I can't get into a situation where you're like, no, that's not what I want. No. Is this what, are we playing this game or not? No? Okay. Please, don't bring your leg here. Don't do any of those things. You stay on your side, I stay on my side. I'm going to respectfully keep it like that because I don't want to have no issues. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's it for me personally. You know what I mean? I don't want the games. Yes, Trey. You it to us, sir.
Listen. Let me pull y'all in close. Listen, let me talk to you, okay? I agree with you, Coach. You're right. But Here's the hard fact: people play games. They play them every day. You know, it is what it is. We're just watching a woman play her games with this man. That's all it is at the end of the day. That's why I say relax. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. All of this, so for the most part, means nothing because I still assert this would be a non-factor if she actually liked you. None of this would be a conversation. None of it. The fact that we know that she don't like him, and we can clearly see that she's playing in his face, and he doesn't have, as Sean would say, the game. Really, the game to play back in her face. He's not equipped. He's not equipped to handle this chick, and he's looking like a fool. But he's not dumb enough to know that he's not looking like a fool. He knows it. He's seeing it. He's like, wait a minute. This is not it. This is not it. And now he's starting to show it. And now she's bucking back because she's like, wait a minute. No, I'm losing my power in this situation. People like to be right, unfortunately. I believe we all we all fall prey to this. We like to be right in particular situations. We don't want to look like we did someone wrong. None of us really do. I hate to say it, especially women. That's true. They don't like when they know they're the ones that's in the wrong or even perceived to doing something wrong. And that's just the truth of the matter. Because it's hard to do that word that we keep talking about every week, accountability. It's hard for some people to process. But it's okay. It's not that serious. Just relax. He'll get through this. She will too. Might be some disappointment. And who knows? Coach O'Shawn can shoot this shot later. It could be a beautiful thing. But be careful. Don't be a Shaq. Because that could easily be any one of us. If she don't like you at the start, don't waste your time, bro. Don't waste your time.
I agree with you. Listen, I always said I can't do the 8 weeks, but I'm saying if you're gonna do the 8 weeks, I'm gonna make sure I know exactly what I'm going into. I can't do 8 weeks of unsurety. That's what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm saying about Shaq. Call it out. It is 8 weeks of unsurety, bro. As a man, you want to know exactly where you stand. So call it out. If she's saying that, says, hey, you put your leg on me, you've been rubbing me, you've been getting close to me, you've been doing all these things to me. Call it out so that you know exactly where you stand, because he's in more danger by not calling it out. Because every single time you make a move now, you're not sure whether she's going to respond or not. You don't know how to move accordingly. That leaves you in danger because you're not sure what she's going to do. So you need to make sure you know exactly where you stand with her. Let her know, hey, you've been making different moves of late. I've seen how you started trying to come onto man. I can see it a different way. Again, am I saying that this doesn't mean that she doesn't like him? We can keep that truth. I don't think she likes him all the way. Fair enough. But I'm saying from a man perspective, there's actually more danger to not call something out because you have no clue how now she's going to behave because you don't know where she stands with you. So you need to make sure know exactly where you stand. Hey, look, I've seen this movement. For me, this I'm going to interpret it as you starting to like me and you starting to come towards me. I don't know if anything has shifted. Then she has to make a choice and answer your question. If she starts slotting and going kibbity cat cat key, court kit cat, court kit K, you can say, hey, I don't do the skitty cat cat co. I don't do that. So either we black and we white and we know exactly where we stand, because I don't want to do that stuff where you're touching me, getting close to me, and you know exactly how I'm going to be feeling that I like you. I already told you I liked you. You already know where I stand, and you're trying to do all of that. Now, if she says, oh, listen, I'm actually trying and I can see myself kind of growing because I'm now starting to touch you. I'm starting to do all the things I wasn't doing in the very beginning because she wasn't touching him at the beginning, right? At the very beginning, she was not touching him. At the very beginning, she did not want to like his bald head. At the beginning, she was telling us how ugly he was to him. So, like, she told you that from the jump. So if something's changing, I need to know for my safety. for my safety, because this is not a normal situation of you meeting a girl in a club and this is happening. This is 8 weeks. So you've got a whole timeline. You need to know exactly where you stand. Because this ain't, I can't just go, oh, I met a girl and we just and we left. No, this is 8 weeks. So at this point, I'm saying take the onus on yourself, be a leader, step up and tell this girl, listen, where we're going right now, you're causing me some issue right now. You know what I mean? Because I see whole leg on my leg. You're talking about the future. You're doing all this kind of stuff. The reason why he's going to get more vexed, and he's going to get more vexed with her, is because she keeps saying these things and he's not sure what she actually means. Are you actually being truthful or are you lying? Call it out and then be done with it and then move forward accordingly. That's what I'm trying to say. And I know it may look like I'm capping, but I'm saying for a brother's safety, you need to know where this stands. For your safety, you need to know. And if she's playing, call it out so you know where you're safe. Otherwise, you keep entertaining it, you're now getting inside the mud of it. You're throwing mud, but the mud's coming back onto you as well. You're now in the mud pit alongside her. Let her dance in the mud pit and let her be alone in the mud pit. If that's what you want to do, you want to play, I'm going to let people know that's not me.
And I mean, I'll just add, and I'm not the expert on masculine and feminine energy, right? But what I do know is that in certain key moments, she is drawing on her feminine energy, right? Laying across him like that, having her thigh out, putting her foot up for him to take her shoes off. You know, those are all super, super feminine things. So the opposite of that would be for a man to act in his masculine energy and then do certain things. But he's meeting her with questions and complaining and a lot of talking. So that's the part I'm calling out. I'm like, you have to know how to navigate the moment. Now, if you don't like her and you think it's all fake, you have two options. Either choose road A, which is my road, and see where the end gonna be, see where it goes. And listen, with somebody like Kirsten, I wouldn't mind taking that risk. Now, the other option, if you choose not to be and you don't want to, play the game and you feel like she's fake and phony, just let her know, listen, if you're not with this and if you don't like me, then certain things I don't want you to do. I don't want you to force something that's not there, right? But the going back and forth and the awkward moments and talking about plants and talking about meeting your friends, that to me is more nonsense. So you're just adding nonsense on nonsense, right? So if I'm a man and I see a woman that's doing things that just don't resonate or don't make sense, then I'm either going to call it out and not waste my time, or I'm going to entertain it. But he's in the middle. And that for me is where I think his issue is. Pick what you're going to do. Pick a side. Are you interested or are you not? Because if you are, your actions are all over the place too. So you're no better than her.
Sean, okay. Sean, you kind of answered my question. My question was, how would you have taken that last scene that we just saw with the leg going across his and her her having him, undo her shoes and everything. So you kind of just answered the question that I had a long time ago. But to me, she's the one that started that. She said, I know that this night was really stressful. And if you want this man to attack you and take your shoes off and run you and start with the feet and run your leg and start at the feet and go up, then don't talk about the night. Now that that's over, let's talk about something else. But she wanted to talk about the night being stressful, and then that's where he called her out. So to me, we can agree to disagree on this one. I'm saying for 4 weeks, you don't like him, and now you want to talk about a stressful night. If you turned the corner, girl, turn that corner. That's it. But so you kind of answered the question I had.
Love this conversation. It was great. That's a great conversation. I actually loved it, man. Well done, guys. I appreciate it. Let's go to Aris and Jasmine. Good conversation there. Iris and Jasmine is another one that will stress you out. You know, you know, just my final word. I want Shaq to do what Clint and Gina have done. You know what I mean? Let it just be clean. Everyone knows where they stand. But talking about Iris and Jasmine, that one is a bit more clearer. You see how Iris has let her know, listen, you ain't getting no dick from me. Excuse my French, no delash from me. Because you know, I'm scared you're gonna fall. So they made a pact that after the show, if it continues onwards, she gonna get the delash. You know, quite interesting again. Once more, we know that obviously Jasmine is frustrated by Iris. I do understand why she can be frustrated, but also at the same time, I think he's doing a good job navigating this space. Not all of the things he does is correct, and I agree with it. Yes, I know he said some dumb stuff about the sex stuff, and we called him out last week. But I think in terms of like not jumping her bones, not like, you know, just doing it just because he can. Do you know what I mean? Not treating her in that particular way, but being at least quote unquote some aspect of respectful enough to like not draw her in and do any stupid games like, oh, you know, I want to like you now 1 minute and then not like you the next minute. He's not doing any of that kind of stuff. He's kept it quite consistent in terms of how he actually feels. This brother just wants to see out his contract to the end of the 8 weeks. You know, and and at least he said, I'm not going to do no messy stuff in between that. I'm not going to let you get too close and too inviting. I'm going to keep it a little bit of a distance. Okay. And I might have to add a bit more distance by saying you're a 4 out of 10. You know, I might have to add a bit more distance by saying you're getting on this lash. You know what I mean? And I don't agree with it all the way that he does that, but at least he knows where he stands and she knows where she stands. She can't lie to herself. You know what I mean? So maybe that's me capping from a little bit, but what's you guys' thoughts on Iris and Jasmine? What do you guys think on the Iris and Jasmine situation? Who would like to go? Yes, Onu, you've been shaking your head at me. Onu, what are you saying? And then Trey.
I feel bad for Jasmine. Like, I wish she would just end the experiment right now, because if we're the cues that Eris is setting, like Eris is marriage is set up to fail, but I don't know why she wants to put herself in this torture unless she's just trying to pick up this $50,000 check. If that's the case, I'm not mad at you. Eris is just giving me. I'm a big component about preparing for marriage, and he wasn't ready for his experiment. He wasn't ready to be in a relationship. He's just not ready to be here. He's wasting Jasmine's time. He's wasting everyone's time on the mass pursuit, the whole process, and just making it harder for just black men or black men in general when it just comes to relationships, because you just have another instance of a black man, you know, doing what he wants to think he's going to be able to flip a switch and jump into a committed relationship and not be willing to work at it, not having any experience working on it, and just trying to pretend to be someone that he's not. And it's just failing miserably. You want to commend him for not wanting to have sex with Jasmine, but he doesn't find his woman attractive. And if it's all boiling down to if I find someone attractive or not, if you don't find him attractive, walk away. And it's like, there's no reason why he shouldn't be attracted to him, but like based on last week and the sexual deviant past and whatever demons he has going to him, he's just not ready to be here. And it's undermining who Jasmine is as a person. That's the reason why I'm like, this has to stop at some point, because this girl hasn't done anything bad to him. And even if they want to come out as friends, you don't see him doing any. I don't see how he's actually. I mean, he's not in a safe place. He's actually being cordial to what she needs. This girl's frustrated. She's snapped. She's going to start snapping, and like, you know, the person who she's going to be at the end of this isn't the person that she started, and that's all because of the guy. That's just, I don't know what else to say.
I feel for Jasmine in a different way. Because she's giving off the classic look of a person who, after someone tells you to your face, yeah, I'm not really feeling you, and they're making all the actions to say they're not really feeling you. I'm just trying to be cordial about it, and yet you seem like you can't let go. Like she wants this so bad that she can't let go. But we already saw a hint of this when she admitted to herself, well, to the audience, that she falls in love quickly. That's the issue. That's always been an issue for her. That's never really been tackled and whatnot. But she just wants to be married so bad that she's willing to hang on to a man that clearly is not feeling her like that. It's a little sad. Um, the only the, this has been the only thing I have given Eris. Like I don't particularly like him too much, but he ain't ready for this. We know it. But the only thing I will say, and I have to give him credit, this is just it. He's refusing to have sex with her because he knows if he does, he's going to have a stage 5 clinger on his hands. Yes, Jasmine gives that. She's stage 5. She's sweet, she's nice. I like her, but she's stage 5 and waiting to happen. The only thing is, and like I said, I don't want to give it to him, but at least because any other dude, mostly any other dudes, they would have been on ahead and smashed her, even if they don't like her. And then we would have been in a whole different situation. But at least he has the wherewithal to say, you know what? Nah, no, I'm not going to go through with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have sex with you. Because I can tell, even though he brought it up, very smallly, she's been pressuring him. She's been like, yo, when we gonna get it in? I want it. She's been pressuring him. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, this is too, I hate to be on his side. I really don't want to, but to his credit, he's like, okay, no, I'm not feeling you like that. Why are you trying to throw it at me? No, I don't want it. I don't want it. But he's trying unsuccessfully at times, but trying to be nice about it. Because he seems like the type of person, if he really not feeling something, he could be rude when he really wants to. I get that sense from him. Like he could be extremely rude. And we've heard him say some things like, bro, what was that? But it's getting sad to me by this point. It's like, Jasmine, wake up. Wake up. Like, he's just not that into you, just like the movie Black Version. He's not that into you. So wake up. But she wants this so bad that she just can't open her eyes, even though she sees it. She's not blind. That's the weird thing. She's not blind. She just can't let go. That's about it. Go ahead, Crystal.
I actually agree with you on this, Trey. Sitting there at that table was kind of just torturous and sad for me. Watching him, he took the sex off the table, which I was like, okay, Eris, I gotta hand it to him for that. And then she pulls out, well, there's more than intimacy than just sex, and she's like, so we're taking that off the table, but we're still getting to know each other. And he said the first couple of weeks I was out, I was checked out, I was basically like right at the brink of being checked out, and now he's like, he still wants to try, but he wants to take sex off the table. And I said, but you still are hanging on to these little things, Jasmine, and that this is not there. I also have to, everybody's saying he doesn't like her. He's not attracted. Everybody on this panel's been saying that, and he's been saying it. But finally, he said it in a way that I totally got what he was saying. When he said to his friend, how somebody may not be, absolutely attracted to them, but they have an amazing sense of humor. Or they got that swagger, or they're a sneakerhead, or they walk in and you're like the way they dress, and you're like, wow, then you get to know them. That's actually happened to me. Somebody that I was, not immediately attracted to, was not, would never be somebody I would go for. It's hilarious, and And then I started to get to know him, and that's when I was like, oh, okay, now you become attracted to them. So I think that, so when he said that, I said, okay, that makes sense. But you just saying, I'm just not, I'm at a 4 or 5. He wasn't really explaining it that way. That makes sense. So, and when he said you need to be less humble, he wants that type of girl. But I do understand his point in that. I do think that I still think he's an a-hole. I still think that the way he's been talking to her and all of those other things, he's still that person. But at least him explaining it like that makes sense. Don't just tell this girl, I'm not attracted to you, you're a 4 or and stuff like that. But he explained that to his friend. He didn't explain that to Jasmine. So so I do appreciate him in that point and taking the sex off the table. I don't see how Jasmine, she keeps saying things in a roundabout way, but she's not saying it. I do think that she does need to come out of pocket a little bit and just say, listen, what did she say to the ITM? I didn't sign up for friendship. She needs to say that to him and be very plain about it. But she's saying these things in a roundabout way, and that's it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just not going to go anywhere. They're playing this dance. And that's it for now.
I just wanted to submit some evidence to the bar once more that this only part I have an issue with Aris and Jasmine, mainly Aris, because he told her he don't want to have no sex, but he doing this. Just I don't know if you noticed this part. All right, let me just play this part here at the very beginning of the show. He gonna leave. He gonna give her a kiss. I need that shit to stop. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Don't bring me into this game. I'm not about this. Is what I said about the Shaq and Kirsten things. The same thing. Don't bring me into this game because I know what this game is. I know exactly what this game is. So long as I have power in the scenario between me and you, I'll do whatever I need to do because it makes me feel comfortable. But I know you're uncomfortable. But I'm gonna let you know that if you try to do that to me, I'm gonna shut it all the way down. You ain't gonna give me kiss on the lips, and we ain't trying to go there. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff I'm talking about. I don't play these games. I can't do this. It just honestly, it's confusing messaging. That if you allow people to play this way with you, honestly, it confuses things. So I'm not even I can't even be mad at all the way at Jasmine and say I know that Jasmine has issue. I know her problem is that she's a Build-A-Bear boo. She's a potential boo. She likes potential, and that's why she's probably sticking with Aris even longer. So she has her own issues that she's playing with. But it's just like, bro, I need you. Like he be giving these mixed messages, bro. If you ain't on it, you ain't on it. Stop this kissing stuff. Stop doing this cute stuff. It's mad jarring because it mad sells a market something that you ain't trying to give. You know you don't want this girl, bro. So lipsing her right now before you go out to work and making it look like we're playing happy families is a problem that I don't like. If I'm a man and I said the exact same thing about the Kirsten Shaq thing, don't do it to me. Jasmine needs to let him know. Don't do it to me. I don't want to play them games with you. Back up. Don't bring your lips anywhere near here. Do you see what I'm saying? That's my only point.
Yeah, I see so many similarities with Aris and Jasmine and with Shaq and Kirsten, but the roles are reversed gender-wise. The only difference really is that Jasmine is, she's made statements like she wants him to tear her clothes off, or she wants to tear his clothes off, things like that. Little comments. All right. I don't think she's heavily pursuing the sex, as in saying, look, if we don't have sex, then it's a no. No. She's again, I think she's living in quite a delusional space if she thinks that he's all of a sudden going to start feeling her after a month of being together. Much the same way we said about Shaq. I still think Aris and Aris and Kirsten would actually make a better match. I stand by that. They both are quite guarded. They have walls up. They have things that need to be resolved before they're ready for a long-term relationship. But together, you know, they might have been like similar to a Nicole and Chris. Like both got issues, but you know, there's the mutual thing going on there where they can get together. And Jasmine and Shaq, they seem more like they're ready for, you know, or they're thinking about a long-term relationship with someone that they are attracted to. And the attraction does play higher up in their list of priorities than the partners that they're with. But I don't think Aris and Jasmine should sleep together. I've said that previously as well. I think that would be a big mistake. Same with Kirsten and Shaq as well. Don't sleep together, because one person is not feeling the other in the same way that you're feeling them. All right, it's just not there. Like, we can't overlook the fact that the physical attraction, the sexual attraction, is a component of the relationship that it's not the be all and end all, but you want that reassurance that your partner is feeling you. You want that reassurance that your partner is at least attracted to you. So this whole put the leg across the lap business, nah. Like, even when Eris is speaking sometimes, and Kirsten, it's like they are putting a performance for the camera. Like, they slightly lean forward or they give like a glimpse to the camera before they start saying what they're going to say. Eris is not used to the type of woman that Jasmine is. I think he is basically down for, you know, in his previous life before the marriage, like he said, he had a bit of a sordid sexual history, orgies and things like that. Those aren't things that you just walk into. You have to have a certain mindset to be able to be in a room while other people are getting down and you're trying to get down as well. Like, you're not ready for, you know, you're not ready to settle down with one person in the 2-week span that you went without knocking the boots before the show started. Haven't had enough time. But the type of lady that Jasmine presents herself to be, you know, unless it's something to do with the amount of dogs she has, or, you know, like things like that. Because when they were washing the dogs last week, he did indicate that, you know, he kind of felt uncomfortable doing it. She's got about, I don't know how many, I think it was 10 or 12 dogs that she was, yeah, like, that's a lot. That's a lot. So, you know, I think there may be little pet peeves, but that's not enough for him to be so conflicted. Like, he keeps on giving lip service in one instance where he's like, you know what? Like, he seems interested in her, but at the same time, he knows for a fact that he's not attracted to her. So I think he should just nip it in the bud. But I don't think he wants to hurt her feelings. That's at the centerpiece, I think. Like, he doesn't want to hurt her feelings, have her broken, crying, and I'm not sure he knows how to tell her, finally, look, it's not going to go anywhere, without actually feeling like he's going to hurt her. That's what I think he's doing. Is he leading her on? Probably. To stay to the end? Probably. But it's only going to build up to decision day when he ultimately says no. I hope she says no as well, because she realizes that Aris is not the type of person to be in a relationship with at this point. And like I said, I think it's a shame that they weren't matched with the opposite in the other relationship. But to give the so-called experts credit, you don't know how these people are going to mesh and gel until you actually put them together. And once you put them together, that kind of ruins the prospect of the partners switching over, because you already spent time watching them with somebody else and you've been with the person as well. So that whole wife swapping thing wouldn't work. So yeah, it's a shame. But I think the other couples would have been, you know, mix and match, and it would have been a better outcome.
Who's next? Only you had to say about Jasmine and Aris? Go for it.
I mean, I agree. The intimate, I mean, taking sex is off the table is one thing. The intimacy thing is the main issue that I have. Like, he's sharing moments of intimacy with her, and then he's the one pulling the sex off. So I'm getting like, I'm not giving him credit for, hey, we're not gonna have sex unless we make it to the end. If you're giving her signs that, hey, there's a chance. And Jasmine's been all in since day one. Even with understanding his flaws and learning to know him as a person, he's the one that's been trepidations. Like, you know what? Like, I'm not feeling her. There's something about her. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's something there that he doesn't want to commit to. And if he wants to blame it on type of attraction, again, that's fine. And if that's the issue, at the 4-week mark, I need you to walk away. This whole build a friendship, once one person wants a relationship, we're not going to do that. It's not acceptable. Pick what you want to do and move forward. So yes, it's the right thing to withhold sex, but the same thing is this whole intimacy. It's the intimacy thing that he's trying to, that he's been getting away with and been trying to relay for the past 4 weeks into now again for another month. What are we doing here? So if she does slip up or something does happen, it's going to be whose fault here? He's going to blame her.
Okay, you tell no lies. Anyone else want to add on this part? Go for Crystal.
I just have one more thing to add, and I'm a little concerned with the upcoming episodes, what I did see. And I just said, ladies, if you're not sexually promiscuous and you're not like you're a good woman and don't cheat on your man and you want to be that good woman and have a family, don't try to change yourself for him. My concern is like, yeah, she's trying this stripper thing out and she's trying to do all of these other things. That's not going to make yourself happy. And that's what I'm concerned about. Like, yes, she's hearing all these. She wants to go deeper and he wants to talk about sex and I don't know if she's trying to do this to turn a corner with him. I don't know, but that's concerning for me. That's not going to make you happy. And it's actually going to be worse in the end. That's it.
Anyone else want to add? No? All right, cool. Let's talk quickly then about Gina and Clint. I know we won't stay on them long because there wasn't much that's happening with them, to be honest. They've pretty much checked out. They're pretty much done. They're just trying to get along with each other, really, and do the whole oxtail and stuff like that. But Clint and Gina, what's you guys' thoughts on Clint and Gina? Who would like to go? Clint and Gina. Nobody cares about this couple, I can tell.
The only thing I have to say is I'm actually really surprised, and I don't want to say impressed, but it's more Gina than Clint. When I first saw we first, first episode, I was like, oh, he's gonna break her heart. Oh, he's gonna say something out of pocket, or I just really thought that it was gonna be a Clint thing, and it's really a Gina thing. Now, she did say that, I think that, like you were saying about the emotional blockage, think she's got a lot of emotional blockage. Maybe she said she was raised by a single mother. So I think that once a man hurts her or once a man hurts her feelings, she's not going to forget it. Like we've said about other people, about other, ladies on here, and what's her name? Nicole. And we've said that before. Once she has that immediate hurt, she knows, oh, I'm just setting myself up for the disappointment. She is blocked, and that's it. And they're just the best of friends now. They're just the best of friends. And I feel like Gina, like this man, I do think he's at least trying. Am I crazy? I could be. That's it.
Listen, I am a supporter of Senator Clint. He has my vote. This man has been on the campaign trail. You know what I'm saying? I said this last week. He on the campaign trail. He's kissing babies. He's kissing dogs. He's meeting friends. Listen, if what happened hadn't happened in Jamaica, I'm gonna say this: he probably would be the best husband from his emotional maturity. Because crazy as his kept, even though we thought he was probably one of the wildest ones we met in the beginning, he has the most emotional maturity of all the men, and it's plain as day. Mainly because he lived a life. You know, he's lived a life. He's traveled. He's cultured. You know, Gina, she talk like she is, but she need to catch up. It's kind of funny. Like she need to catch up a little bit. It's kind of funny. I'm like, all right, you talk a good game, but yeah, you and your salon kind of basic. I said it. Okay, it's what it is. It's just giving just a little basic. This man got boats. He's selling. Now you ain't on his level. This is what it is. You ain't on his level. Yeah, he's still trying with her. He's still trying with her, and you can tell it's a try where he knows, all right, this probably is not going anywhere, but you know, I'm a stay the course because I showed my behind, even though I understood why he showed his behind because he felt disrespected. You know, she started that whole fight in Jamaica. She started that. He felt disrespected, and he retaliated in kind, and then it kind of hit some straight shots and shot the rest of the women, and now everybody was all upset. You know, now he's on the campaign trail. Yeah, he was spraying. He sprayed during that Jamaican trip, and they all got hit, even though it was only meant for Gina. You know, that's what happens sometimes. You know, he lost control of his attack. I can understand. He felt disrespected. This woman called me a ginger and all this kind of like, what the heck? You know, but you got a ginger dog. This don't make no sense. What is this? What is this? It's crazy. You know, he said that. He was like, it made no sense. She got a ginger dog, but she talk about gingers. Am I a dog to her? That's what he was thinking in his head. You know what I'm saying? But it's weird. I do like the fact that at least for the most part, they're trying to be cordial and be friends about this. Hey, you know, we had a tidbit. Let's at least be cool. And you notice when they're cool, they kind of get along. I think Gina kind of fluffing it a little bit. I do think she's fluffing it just a little bit, but at least they're getting along. So listen, Senator Clint has my vote. This is what it is. Vote Clint. That's what it's all about, baby. Vote Clint.
Go on.
I mean, I agree with Trey. I mean, it's nothing much to say. I think he's ready for marriage. He's willing to work. Even up until now, even with the disagreements, they set up boundaries in how to have a healthy relationship, and they enjoy spending time with each other, which we can't say about the other couples up so far. My off-topic question is, I need to know exactly who put Clint on these oxtails. Like, honestly, like, how is he knowing where to go to get this done? I'm like, the over under on him, how many black chicks he's dated is like 2.5, because like that's not a typical deal you're gonna pick up just right off the bat.
He done he's sailed down to the Caribbean before. He done picked up a chick on his boat.
So that's just my thing right here. So we'll see how this turns out. Them not working out is more on Gina than it's going to be on Clint. I mean, Clint's been honest. He's been able to defend his position. He hasn't been malicious to Gina. It's the interpretation of what Gina thinks that Clint has to say is the main issue here. So until he says directly context or says something down the line to make not to have a safe place with Gina, I'm not too concerned about that. I really think that she's not really answering his questions when it comes to this relationship marriage, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, I think I know where Clint got them oxtails. Listen, when he was in the doghouse with Gina, man, he went for a little walk and he found some of the locals and they showed him some of the cuisine over there. That's what happened on the honeymoon. Like before, he didn't go straight home. She left, stormed off, And he just stood there and he was like, well, look, man, I'm going to go for a walk. You know what I'm saying? Oxtails was banging. Decided when he got back to Tennessee, yeah, I'm going to hook up some oxtails when I get back here. That's kind of what I think is playing there. Listen, fact of the matter is these two have decided that, okay, you're not each other's type. Let's just see if we can be friends and just see if we can stay cordial. I agree with Trey. Listen, if they're not talking about their preferences, then they get on perfectly fine. They both are business owners. They both are reasonably, articulate with the way that they feel. And I think, as long as they avoid confrontation, they're not going to work as a marriage. They're not going to work as a couple. The attraction isn't there. So, they're just going to see out the process. I don't even think they're going to either one would quit. I think both of them would just enjoy the journey for what it is and see it out to the end. And then both just say no without being malicious about it. Definitely don't see Clint being invested in her. He's used to slim things. And, Gina is into anybody but gingers. So it's just not a match. There's no harm, no foul. The experiment didn't work for this couple.
That's all we got to say. I don't have much for them. I can't lie to you. So that's it. I ain't got much to say about them. Let's move on. Let's move on to another couple. The last one, Chris and Nicole. Because somebody's daddy said you need to get some big dick energy. That's what he said right there. Yo, her dad is wild, bro. Man said get you a BD. Yes or no?
Don't get canceled out here, man.
Yeah. Yo, when he dropped that bar, I can't lie to you. I agreed with him. You know what I mean? I agreed with him, but I wanted to know who the hell gave him that terminology in the first place. Sir, this is beyond your time. How you know about BDE? That's what I want to know.
He got black friends.
He got black.
He actually has black friends. That's what it is.
Remember, they're from New York too.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, he got black friends. It's interesting. Even though he's abrasive, he's from New York. I actually like it. I like her dad. I like her dad. You can work with him. And it seemed like he was trying to give him some real advice. Like, hey, bro, you know what? You ain't have the way he's looking at him, you're not half bad. You're okay. So let me help you a little bit. This is what you need to do. And like they said in Coming to America, the way to an American woman's heart is through a father. To a father. You know what I'm saying? You getting good with him, you home free. He's half home free. Halfway. The dad is trying to give him advice. That's something. So that's kind of a big thing. Like, first he was standoffish against him in the beginning. You get why. Now he's literally giving him advice. All right. This could work. We'll see as it goes along. The only other thing I got with it, it's funny how they made Nicole the designated therapist. They made her the designated therapist for the whole group at that dinner. They always do it. They pick one person to say what needed to be said or raise the weird question, and it comes out of nowhere. You like, why you ask that? But I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna lie. Every point she brought up, every question she asked, I was like, I was wondering that. Interesting. Let's hear it. It made it look crazy, but I wasn't mad at it. I was wondering some of the same things Because if she hadn't asked it, we wouldn't have got that interesting tidbit between Eris and Jasmine. Well, you can see her frustration at the table. She was just like, she was ready to say, "He don't want me, y'all. He don't want me." She was just ready to say it, but she was holding herself back. And then you had the whole thing between Kirsten and Shaq. If Nicole hadn't said what she said, we wouldn't have all these talking points we had tonight. Because that's where most of it came from. So I'm like, somebody said it. And I guess it had to be said. Because it was eye-opening when she was like, wait a minute, Nicole sending notes and passing notes on the doors, and it seemed like she's trying to help you out, but you get one person saying this, the other person saying this, it's confusement, which is Kirsten. Confusement. Yes, confusement. That's the word of 2023. Confusement 2023. There's a lot of it going around. There's a lot of it. We need to try to clear this up. Get some clear answers. Something. You know what I'm saying? But, I wasn't mad at them. I think they're going to make it. We'll see. They both got problems. We know there's some issues there. And still some issues need to work out. I do need to he need to grab his balls every now and then. But like, hey, bro, hey, just cup them. See if you make sure they're still there. Do a ball check. Just make sure they're still there. But because Nicole's been saying that we've been waiting on it. She's been saying she's afraid that she's gonna do something to this man. Like I'm like, okay, you just don't say this without it actually coming up. So I feel like it is within these last 4 weeks, we're gonna see something from her that she's been warning us about for weeks now. We just might see it. And it seems like they've been trying to brace Chris for it. Like, yeah, brace yourself, it's coming. It's coming. She's gonna do a nut check on you real quick. Make sure you have your cup on. Make sure you have your cup on, boy. You're gonna get checked real quick. Yeah, she's strong enough, so I'm gonna leave that right there.
Who next? Y'all look at me plain face like you don't want to talk about this couple. Thank you.
You want to blame it. I'm not from New York, so maybe it's a New York thing. Like I watched the scene twice. I wasn't at first. I liked the dad energy, but at the same time, if that was my father-in-law talking to me on how I should regulate my marriage with my wife, I'm not sure how I'm going to take it. So I think some things are best not unsaid. It's not. It would be one thing if Chris was hurting and doing something that I didn't see on the side, like, hey, I'm talking to the side, giving some words of encouragement. But in that situation, I don't know if that's the right way that I wanted. If I wanted to be coached about it, I just think Chris doesn't know what he don't know, and there's tendencies of Nicole. If you want to bring, if it's that New York street energy, if that's what we're gonna call it, that he might not be aware of. He's been probably not a missed up until now. He's gonna have to figure and learn this out. They're gonna go as far as Nicole wants to go, and I just kind of feel like based on this season, like I could see them as the couple, as like the season 16 couple for the couples cam if they were to be together moving forward. So I think that's what we're gonna see from them. A united front of what they want to push for there. I don't know. To me, I'm like, would Chris have been able to walk up to Nicole in the bar and meet this girl and like go from 0 to 100 and like I'm gonna marry this girl per se in the traditional sense? No, but this show, I guess the purpose of the show, they work together. We'll see how it lasts.
I was actually trying to rewatch it to see if I remembered anything else from them too. I agree. I actually like the dad. I think that Chris needs somebody. He's had other people tell him that her best friend saying, "Don't let her get away with stuff." And now the dad saying, "You need some big B energy." I agree with the dad. Everybody's told him in different ways, be a little bit more forceful or take charge. And now the dad's saying it. I think I don't know if that's going to get through his head. But I also, only what you just said about if they were to meet on the street or at a bar, would he take the initiative and walk up to her? No. So I agree that also that they're probably, and I think Jared has also said they're the only couple we see actually making it. And I agree with you, Trey. The producers must have said, go ahead and lead the dinner. But at the same time, I feel like she does this thing. She kind of does the thing that we were accusing Shaq of, not letting people speak. You know what I mean? So I feel like there were a couple of times during the dinner, and I don't know if this was Heather, that, she kind of led them and said, hey, well, it looks like you guys are getting along. Is everything okay? And then when I don't know if it was Kirsten, one of the Black couples was trying to form their words because they're not doing okay. She said, well, you guys are talking more. Like, I was like, girl, just let them talk. So I do think that she does just kind of jumps in. And I think that that's an issue that Chris probably has with her. So, and does he speak up when he has a problem, or, because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings? So I wonder how that's going to play out. That's all I can remember right now. Sorry.
Hey, don't forget, Crystal. Remember they said on the after show that this whole season seemed like Nicole has been the one being like the relationship expert, helping everybody out and
Yes.
giving them advice, this and that and third. And I'm like, oh, so she's the Dr. Pepper more than Dr. Pepper we've seen all season. Like, okay,
but
somebody got to do it.
But that's her self-appointed. She's her self-appointed. Nobody's asked her to do that. Nobody asked. I don't think production asked her to slip notes under Shaq's door.
No, I think that's all her. But I do find it funny how Kojo was saying earlier, where are the experts? Where I guess the own contestants got to be their own experts now.
Totally agree with you on that. We haven't even talked about that. Absolutely.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Go for Joe.
Yeah, I think Nicole has appointed herself the counselor or the relationship coach because when she looks around at the landscape, what she sees is the debris. Her and Chris have progressed the furthest out of all the couples. They've been intimate, they've been open with each other, they've been vulnerable, they've spent time together, they've consoled each other through different things that they've gone through. So for the most part, they've gone further than the other couples have in many ways. And that's why at the dinner table, the conversation about, how far have you got, at 1 month in, like, have you slept together? Have you done all these different things? I didn't even see it as bragging because they're doing what I would expect the couples to be doing at this time. If you're feeling each other and you're attracted to each other, like Chris and Nicole are, then like this is where everybody should be kind of where they are, but they're not, and that's why there's such a silence, or awkward silence almost, when the questions were asked. Now the thing is, I was a supporter of Chris early on, and then gradually I started to see, like, when I see him, I don't know, something just tells me he's sad, like he's troubled. And he doesn't seem to have the vibrant spirit. He doesn't seem to be energized, even though he professes to be happy with Nicole, right? Just seems like there's something going on there that's kind of upset his spirit. And it's not to do with Nicole. I think it's something he's been carrying for a while. And it would be a very big mistake if he tries to find whatever he's missing in Nicole, because she's not there for that. That's not what she's there for. And that's going to be a huge burden for her to always try and keep him happy or make him smile or ask him what's wrong all the time. But he definitely seems like there's something going on. Whereas Nicole, on the other hand, she seems more, I want to say, outspoken, but also seems to be a counterbalance to that. Like, she seems to be more lively. And that's why I think the dad has, pulled him aside and said, yeah, you need to come with some BD energy. I think he's trying to, G him up, trying to say, look, like, snap out the slump. I can see that Nicole is feeling a certain way, but you're kind of like, there's something very, how can I put troubled, I want to say, right? So I think the dad was just trying to nudge him to say, look, come on now, you're in the marriage, by all stretch of the imagination, it's going well for you. Snap out of it. You're here now. Enjoy what you're doing with each other in this experiment. Enjoy getting to know each other. Enjoy the dates. Enjoy your time as a couple, right? So yeah, I still think this is the only couple that I see making it to decision day and saying yes. They're the only ones on this season. Don't see it for any others at the moment.
Sean, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would say the father's going to be problematic because if he's that comfortable just coming out talking like that to his son-in-law, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And, he could have found a way to give a little bit of fatherly advice, but to be so rude like that. Now, I'm not saying he's lying, but again, I think he's more so trolling him because if you don't have BD energy, you don't just get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you can just go pick it up today at the store, on sale for $2.99. It's not something that he can turn on. It's just not his personality. That's just not who he is. And for him to think it is one thing, but to say it out loud is another. And it means that he doesn't respect him. And it reminds me of what's old boy from Love is Blind? Is his name Brennan or whatever? Alexa's father. How he just thought, he thinks very lowly of his son-in-law. And they're just going to have this very uncomfortable energy. And Chris is even more sensitive than obviously Brennan is or was. I think that's the guy's name is Brennan. So yeah, that's a problem. I think he's very, very sensitive, and I think the father's rude, and just doesn't know how to say things appropriately. And I think Nicole is a self-sabotager. She couldn't even get through the wedding pictures without saying, "Oh, I look so horrible. My makeup looks bad. My makeup looks bad." Either she just really does have the what did she say, body dysmorphia or whatever. I think she's just overly critical. She's overly critical of herself, and there's one or two things that could be. And I think it's either she just doesn't think highly of herself, or she does those things so that she can be complimented. So she says the worst so that you can reassure her that she's not. And I think all of those things are just, things she has to continue to work on. And I see in the next previews where she talks about some things that she does need to work through. But honestly, all of that stuff together, I don't know if she's ready to be married. She pretty much said she loves him this episode. When she was talking about what she loves, she's alluding to it. We know she loves him, but she's kind of like waiting for him to say it, but she really just is saying it. So she's got a lot of work and a lot of healing to do.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Chris's Nicole's dad kind of hit on the spot, really. Needing Chris to kind of come into, the BDE. What he's trying to say is, I know my daughter's strong. If you don't come strong, she's gonna run you over. Meet me. And I think with Chris, he is. although he's stronger maybe than he was before, he's still a people pleaser. He's still a people pleaser. He's still trying to do things based on whether she likes it or not. It's like, sir, no, you need to have your lane. You like what you like. You do what you do because you like to do it. Don't do it just because you know you're trying to please Nicole or appease her or whatever. And she senses that, and the dad senses that, and they can see that, yeah, she gonna run you over, son. She gonna take a truck. She gonna run you over. She gonna look in the mirror and meet and roll it back over you again. Like, sir, you need to get it together. That's what he's trying to tell you. Get your assertive energy and lay the law down without it being disrespectful. You know what I mean? So what Chris needs to do, here's what Chris needs to do. Chris, if you're watching this is what you need to do. Okay, there's a book out there called Assertive Training. It's on Audible, Amazon. Grab it, get it. Okay, it will start teaching you how to be a bit more assertive without it being disrespectful, and letting your yeses be your yeses and your no's be your no's. And sometimes your yes and no needs no explanation. It's just yes and it's no. Okay, all right. Chris is the type of person at work, when you ask them who's doing overtime, everybody says no. You look at Chris says, yeah, I don't want to do it. But then look at you, say, Chris, come on. Okay, I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, yo, you gonna fold all the time, bro. And it's not cute. Okay, when it comes to women, it is not cute. They want you to lead, one, to keep them safe, and two, to stop them railroading you. So he just needs to perk it up a little bit, okay, and get himself into shape. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. Get himself into shape mentally and emotionally. This is not even about, like, that she's even being disrespectful of her energy. It's just, you can see that if you give her the opportunity, which we have seen already, she will take control of the situation. Right? But it becomes tiring after a while. So before she gets that space, get yourself together. Can't be crying when situations happen. We've spoken about this on the channel before. You can't be crying when things happen, all right? And then not making any solutions. I'm not saying men can't cry. I'm saying this was not that. I'm not forgetting the fact man cried with the dog situation and came up with no solutions. None. But your girl was out here calling her dad, seeing if he can take the dog on. Her dog ain't in the house. Your dogs are. Do you see what I'm saying? So I just need to see it. I appreciate the trips and everything that you're doing for her, though. I appreciate that kind of stuff there. I'm just saying, just watch it. You know what I mean? The dad's trying to tell you something. He's trying to warn you before it goes pear-shaped later on in the marriage. You can survive year one, but there's a whole lifetime to go. So just keep yourself in check and if you need to, just some train out there to be more assertive. That's all. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to add to that, right? Because I just don't think Chris is the strong, assertive leader, and I don't think he's going to grow into that either, to be honest. But I will say that when when Nicole has said certain things to him about what she wants, specifically, do you love me yet? And before they slept together, so can we have sex now? And things like that. He was saying no. And he was standing on it, and he wasn't wavering, and he didn't give her mixed messages. He said, no, I don't think that's a good idea because X, Y, and Z, right? And she had to take it. That doesn't mean that she sat there and said, okay, I'm not going to try again. No, she was quite persistent at times, not annoyingly persistent, but she kept bringing it up, after a few days. So do you love me yet? He's like, no, I'm going to tell you when I feel like I'm ready to say it. And she just has to deal with that. So I think it's more his affect. Like, there's something very low energy about him. He may be depressed, but when I saw the dogs running all up in the bed and things like that, he can't even lead the dogs. The dogs probably run his house before he got into the show. Like, the dogs probably was doing whatever they wanted to do around the house. He would just in fact, the dogs were probably taking him for a walk. All right. Like, he's just not that strong, assertive guy that I think the dad is trying to say that he needs to be. So that's why I think it's more of a, pick yourself up, man. Whatever it is that's got you down, come on. Like, pick yourself up. Just, enjoy the process, man. Why aren't you smiling that much? He always looks like he's got bags under his eyes, like he just finished crying, or he ain't getting no sleep. But to his credit, he does seem to be a very thoughtful and sweet partner. When he was playing with the helicopter, I literally thought for a second, I was like, I hope this damn fool doesn't say this is the gift, like the remote control helicopter, because she was like, oh, playing with toys, that's fun. You know, I was thinking, please, Chris, don't let that be the gift, bro, because she don't want to play with remote control helicopters. But guess what he did? He said, no, we're going on a helicopter cruise, helicopter tour, or whatever it was. I thought that was a very thoughtful, and it's a very romantic thing to do. Up in the clouds, looking over the town, looking over the city or whatever, you know, something different that she probably has never done before. You know, very early on, he bought her a bracelet before, a necklace before he even saw her. So, you know, he seems to be a very thoughtful guy. But no one's perfect. He's not going to have it all. So, in my opinion, I just think he definitely needs to lighten up. Whatever it is that's got him down, it happened. It's over. You know, I don't want to be flippant because it could be something serious, but you have to make a concerted attempt to try and be happy and grateful and appreciative every day that you wake up, instead of dwelling on whatever it is that's got him down.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't know if he's been to therapy, but I think he probably needs some. I don't know if you're in a sunken place like that, it's just something you could turn off, you know? If there is a touch of depression, or if whatever it is that he's going through, it's not like, you know, just like he can't just go acquire this BDE somewhere in the local Walmart. He ain't gonna be able to just shake off whatever's got him sad. He's got to work through that, you know. And I think for her, she's just, you know, it's she's all over the place. She's either really excited or she's down on herself, right? You know, the helicopter ride. Oh my God, I would only want to do this with you. I mean, although it's nice to have appreciation, don't get me wrong, but it's just the over extra enthusiasm for me. I don't know if it's genuine, because it seems like behind his back, there's some things that are annoying her about him. I think eventually she's going to grow tired of his lack of assertion, because you remember I think she was testing him with that old ugly flamingo shirt, you know, because she kept saying, you could do it. No, you don't have to. You don't have to. If you really don't want to, if you really don't want to. And then finally he did. So I think she was kind of just like testing him. And I think she's waiting for him to show up differently. Just like the father is like, you need BD energy. She probably told the father a couple of things. So he's like, well, I'll tell him, man to man. You need to get some BD energy. Well, listen, Pops, it's not for sale this week at the local Walmart. So Chris can't just pick it up off the shelf. You either got it or you don't, or you work on yourself to get it. And I don't think that's happening. And what you need to tell her is she needs to get some LD energy, because she got more BDE than both of them put together. So you need to tell her, you know, I think what he needs to do, you know, as the more I'm talking, you need to tell her to take down her, you know, put her D away, because she got enough of it. And that's his daughter. So maybe that can be more well received. So that's what I think his advice should be. Not to Chris, because you don't know Chris like that, you know? And yeah, you can see some things, but you don't have the relationship, right? We always talk about on the channel, like you can, but you shouldn't. You don't have the relationship with him. I wouldn't take kindly to somebody's father trying to tell me what I need to do, and I just met you a couple of weeks ago. So what you need to do is give that sage wisdom over to your daughter and tell her, you know, and he clearly knows that his daughter's a lot to handle, right? So he needs to tell her to go ahead and take her energy down. So that's my thought.
Okay. Any last additions?
Well, I was busy eating my my healthy dinner, so I missed out on Aris and Jasmine. So I just have 30 seconds if I can.
Go for it. You really know you
So
can.
I don't think I heard, because I had it on in the background. I don't think I heard anybody say too much to the extent, but I think Aris is scared. I think he's scared of intimacy. I think he's also quite scared that he might not be as good as he professes to be. So he gave himself a trap door. And he gave himself the trap door of not having sex with Jasmine. I just haven't seen enough currency from him to say that he was being genuine, to say that he was being thoughtful of her feelings. Meanwhile, he's dragged her and told her how unattractive she is all throughout the episode, or all throughout the season, rather, in every episode. So, yeah, I think he just, inside, the little boy inside of him is scared of intimacy, and also scared that it's not going to be as good as he's been talking about how good it's going to be. And this is different than his little dalliances that he's had on the side. This is out for the world to see. So if something goes wrong, the world gonna know, right? Now, I do think that he is generally not attracted to her, so I don't think that that's a lie. But if he was the player from the Himalayas that he pretends to be, it's not going to matter, right? If you are bold enough to have quote unquote multiple orgies, your level of your sexual appetite is quite high, right? So I think he's capping, and he doesn't want to have to follow through with what he knows probably ain't going to work out the way he's talking about it's going to work out. And what he did, and he said it to his boy to kind of prove your point a little bit, but it was probably like a similar window like a Kirsten was given. You remember what he said to his boy when his friend came through, like, I just needed a little swag. I just need a little swag from her. And Kojo, you were talking about that, and I'm not sure who else mentioned it, or who agreed with you back when you were saying that. And I think that maybe was like a slight crack. Like if there was a little something, if she just went along with it, or if maybe she was a little, had a little different confidence and energy, then he might have gone along to get along. Maybe, just maybe. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I do think she needs to stop entertaining him. She did kind of say, well, no, I'm not expecting sex. But what she should just say is, I'm not interested, right? On the other hand, where I'm thinking Shaq needs to get along with the program, I think Jasmine needs to shut it all the way down, because he is not giving her any energy that shows me that he's going to do anything different. So that's what I think.
Any more thoughts, guys? So we conclude that. Okay. Let me I'm gonna do obviously my $5 cash question as I must do every time. Okay, because you ain't gonna leave here without something. Okay, all right. Just because Shaq is leaving here without something doesn't mean you have to leave here without something. You know what I'm saying? My bad. I should have said that. Let me leave Shaq alone. He's learning and he's growing. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. So my question is for you, audience members, if you're ready. The question is, who said I'm trying to build an empire and have babies? Who said those lines? Who said them lines, baby? Who said them lines, baby? Some of y'all said Clint, Clint got energy to say that, yeah. Looks like the winner we have is Ashley Price. Ashley Price, send me your cash app. You get me? We'll send you your $5 cash app prize to this situation. You get me? I appreciate Ashley. Send me your cash app, or send it to me by email, littleblackbird91@gmail.com. We'll send you a cash app that way as well. All right. So we appreciate you very, very much. Sean, give us the benediction, please.
Listen, this episode, I think we turned the entertainment level up quite nicely. We gave the episode a little bit more spice and interest than it really gave us. But first, our first favorite couple, right? The first couple. Look, either you're gonna be with it or you're not, right? And if you're not gonna be with it, you're not gonna be with it. But you miss 100% of the shots that you don't attempt. So listen, if it looks like it's a good shot, you got a clean shot, shoot your shot and see where it lands. And if you miss, you miss, and you live to shoot another day. But trust me, Kirsten, you watching, I'm gonna shoot my shot, okay? And I think, listen, for all of us, on the other hand, ladies, be honest, right? If you're interested, let us know. If you're not, please let your yes be a yes and let your no be a no, right? We don't want to guess. We don't want to read minds. None of us are in the psychic hotline game around here. Be true to you. For us men, sometimes we got to know when the shh. We might be right, but sometimes we got to shh, We got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should talk less and listen more. Next couple, Gina and Clint, talk about your friends. Will they let you down? Gina and Clint is doomed to friendship forever. And, it ain't, sometimes it just be that way. Sometimes it just be that way. If they can be nice and respectful, they just going to be friends. And that's all that's going to be. Then lastly, Chris and Nicole, they both got work to do. They both need to sit on the bench and heal. If you're not ready for a relationship, make sure before you jump into the deep end that you start doing your doggy paddles first. You got to crawl before you walk. So if you got work to do and you got walls that need to be climbed, you probably just need to sit on down, and that's for both of them. Back to you, Coach.
Appreciate you, panelists, and I appreciate your audience as well. Y'all came out 550 strong, so we appreciate you as always supporting the thing. Listen, we're back again on Saturday night for the live around Ready to Love. Also this week starts Put a Ring in It, so myself and Crystal said we'll link up and we'll be doing weekly reviews as well, and I'm sure I'll get the panelists on board as well every week as well, so we'll have to squeeze it in on that Saturday night until Ready to Love is done. But yes, audience, it's been a great time. We've enjoyed, we've had some good fun, and we've appreciated the time we spent together. Listen, let me just say straight, you know what I mean, you can't leave here with nothing. So listen, Shaq, you can't leave that process with nothing, sir. Okay, all right, you got to leave here with something. 8 weeks, sir. Come on now. Don't let it rub that bald head of yours, okay? All right. No, I appreciate you, okay? But listen, it's been fun. It's been glorious, and I appreciate y'all. And I will see you again very, very soon. I'll probably be back on here tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know me, during the course of the day. And I'll put a video out. But yeah, we'll see you again very, very soon, guys. Saturday night. Saturday night is when we're gonna groove. Love you, baby.
I'm like, I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Okay, he's leaving here with something. Okay, guys. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, guys. Be careful out. All right, and be friendly. Okay, all right, be friendly. Kirsten, you know who I am. Okay, all right. Don't let these people hurt you. Okay. Don't let the likes of Trey and Crystal and JR and only get on your neck. Okay, me and Sean see him. We appreciate it. You understand? He not seeing the times and the season that you need to get into. So don't worry about that, baby. Okay. All right, gravy. Appreciate it, guys. So lots of love. We'll see you again.